And last night, trying to get on here earlier, I like usual, disclaimer, my thoughts, commentary, opinions only. There could be any subject brought up. So if anything in particular triggers you, you just never know what is going to get brought up here. And when I say trigger, I'm not using that word sarcastically. Like I get it. Certain moods I'm in, I wouldn't want to watch somebody like me just like talk about random things either. So I was listening to a lot of content regarding like how our thoughts affect us on a cellular level. And this is something I brought up before, and I just felt compelled to talk about it tonight for a little while. It's affected me positively in so many ways. And somebody that a subscriber recommended, Raymond Grace is his name. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm getting that name right. I'm so bad with names, but Doomer Gloom recommended him and his channel and his work. And it's interesting. It's like the same patterns. I believe synchronicity is a sign that you are on your right path. Like we all have free will. At the same time, we do have predetermined destinies. I almost feel like it's possible maybe our lives here in this physical realm are to meet our destinies. And maybe it takes more than one lifetime to attain what your soul specific destiny is, or, it comes in pieces. I don't know, but I think that it is something I benefited from greatly. I really hope I didn't turn. Okay, it says welcome to live chat. It's fine if nobody wants to say anything. It's just like one time I accidentally removed the chat and I didn't realize it for a minute. But, often I talk about when I had our 3rd son, he was a home birth, and we planned to have him at home, and it turned into it just being me and my husband, which was not the plan and not ideal, and it is one reason why I don't have a uterus anymore, so it's like a moot point at this point. I can't birth any more babies, period, but I personally did not love how the midwife didn't come when I asked her to because my contractions were far apart. And I had told the midwife, same thing happened with my first babies. My contractions are far apart for literal days. I labor for days and then it like picks up and goes really fast at the end. I knew it was my 3rd son. I knew this might be possible. I told her the night before, look, I have a feeling it's going to happen tonight. And it did at like 1 or 2 a.m. But, anyways, that I used Hypno Babies, which is basically a ton of positive affirmations, both audio, like listening to somebody else saying it. Ideally, you would repeat some. They encouraged you to write your own, leave them in places that you would look at often, like your bathroom mirror, like, in your kitchen, places where you will see the positive affirmations. And it really did sincerely help. Hi, John. How are you doing tonight? It really I'm not saying that the labor wasn't painful at all, but it really was surprising how, especially the very end, the baby actually, coming out was almost painless. And everybody's labor is going to be different. I'm not saying that like hypnosis can get the same results for every single woman. Every single birth is different. I was lucky he wasn't what they call sunny side up, which is like the wrong way, and that can make it so much more painful. So I don't want to set any woman up to think I can have a pain-free birth just by doing this and that. It's like so many things have to align, and it just was something a real testament to how powerful our minds are. And at that point, I had already overcome a lot of my own shit, like at that point in my life. Hey, Gloom, how are you doing tonight? Hi, JG, how are you? ET, if it's gross when I was talking about a baby coming out, this is probably not the stream for you, honestly. Hi, Royal, how are you doing? Hi, Isaiah, how are you? There was this one guy who was a regular for a while until he just like was just going off. He was being too negative. I can deal with differing opinions all day long, but he was being downright mean. Hi, Jason, how are you? Often I talk about like people need to know what is normal for women to go through during birth. Women tear during birth. This is like a common occurrence. I think women do need to be more honest with like what they go through, and then maybe motherhood will garner some respect. And I'm not saying just being a biological mother means that people should respect you, but when you make that sacrifice intentionally and do your best job at it and like make all the sacrifices that it takes to raise a baby, and that can happen without birthing the baby. Don't Oh my gosh, I always feel like I have to explain every single exception because if you have a wide enough audience, there's going to be some of those exceptions watching you, right? I did a little bit of Instacart today and I never drank my it's a product I got from Costco. I really, really like collagen peptides. It's like something I put in milk. Wife had twins naturally. Midas night. That's awesome. John, it's good to see you too. Need to cook me some late dinner and being lazy. Oh gosh, gloom. Yeah, I had a bad headache most of the night. And when I talk about that, I can't stress it enough. I don't think I didn't even think about having a natural birth with my first baby. I think women that do for their first baby heading into birth like that, like especially the way we're conditioned, it's so incredibly strong. And I wasn't, oh my gosh, see, you can do whatever you want with birth. I think honestly, the women that go through the most are the ones that get C-sections. But see, there I go. Like, you get cut from side to side, and then you have to take care of a newborn baby while recovering from that. I had 5 little incisions from hysterectomy. Being cut into my abdomen like that was incredibly difficult. I couldn't imagine taking care of a baby during that. But anyways, John, I was watching somebody that Gloom recommended. It was a comment Gloom sent to me. I said his name, Raymond Grace. It's not Raymond, Raymond, just Raymon Grace. That is correct, right, Gloom? I'm sorry if you're cooking or busy, but this man, he has to do, his work revolves a lot around water, but just like positive thinking. And he has a few books I have in my shopping cart now. I have so many books I want to get. And I got some really good news today. And so I was just thinking, after my headache went away, I was like, I wanted to get on here tonight. I wanted to get on here sooner, but I got a job. I got a full-time job today, and that is also something that I was I know manifestation gets a bad rap, trust me. Like it's what wants to come out of my mouth. I manifested this. I need this job so bad. It's a good schedule. It's like the perfect fit. It's close to home. As close to home as any job can get in my situation where we live so rurally. I'm not going to be driving an hour to work. And it's like such a blessing. Of course, it's like tentative until I go and take the drug test, which is already scheduled, which I'm going to pass. I'm not going to not pass the drug test. Hi, Arabic. Thank you. And it's like what I like to do 4 10s, 4 days, 10-hour shifts. And there's going to be overtime with it. And I'm really excited. I want to give you guys details, but I just don't think I should, because of like the wannabe Amish people that want to like get a PI to figure out who I am. Thank you, John. And thank you, A. Rebecca. I think I said thank you. Fendi. Oh, that's cool, Fendi. I'm glad I have something to look forward to. Thank you. You so bad, Jesus. I'd leave my son's mother for you if together. What are you talking about going upper? That sounds like a bot. I had the craziest comments from this bot. They left like literally 20 comments overnight. It was wild. It was seriously discombobulating. Reading the comments messed with my brain. I had to stop at a certain point because I knew it was a bot, but like it was like the way it made such little sense. I'm like, this is like where we're heading, more of this like nonsense. And we have and all endless information at our fingertips now. These confusing, it's not just me, right? It's like literally harder to Google things. I'm doing good, Dave. How are you? Fortunately, at 47, I don't have to worry about that because my girlfriend is 30 years older. Jason said, hi, Snake. How are you doing, Snake? I'm gonna get through these comments. The doctor can give an extra stitch for the guy. Happy Hippie said, "Yeah, that." And I've heard that can also be really painful for the woman. It's best to just let yourself tear naturally. I had an episiotomy with the first, which was it was like a third-degree one too, which is a lot, and it sucked. And the way the doctor cut me right before, I just almost feel like he didn't have to do that. And yeah, I seriously do think it might have had something to do with me being a single 19-year-old mother. Honestly, I do. I feel like he was like, I'm gonna cut you extra, but like, don't worry about me. It's no, it's like that. But like that extra stitch thing. I'm like, yeah, because for so long they cut us so much. And then like after that birth, the 3 years later, they're like, we let people tear naturally. That was like the thing. And it's just you heal better. Anyways, it's just so then at my next birth, I got to tear the other way because of the scar tissue from the episiotomy. And I know this is too much for some people. I get it, it's too much. That's what is so messed up about our culture that like people are there's like puritanical mindset where we can't talk about. Did you see how Scott Galloway said that he thinks men should be sucking on a cigar in the waiting room? Men shouldn't even be present in the room while their woman is birthing a baby. And the man that I saw react to it was a man's channel, public offender. He's like, I couldn't imagine not wanting to be with my wife when she's going through with some of the most pain, some of the most trauma in her life. Like that is so crazy to me. That any man that tries to be a proponent of like, I don't know if I call him men's rights. I don't know what I would call him, men's health. That's just that kind of thing is like if I could use my little platform for like any number of things, obviously I'm all over the place, right? And like I know that's the problem. One of them would be to normalize like just talking about, birth, periods, and even though I don't have a period anymore, you know? Okay, I am going to uh, you don't have dreams, you have movies, Charles. And Moonshiner, how are you doing? So I was thinking like jobs are very scarce around here. So it's a big deal for me to get a job paying as much as it pays. That is like the schedule's going to be good. The thing that I've been going back and forth with is putting my 8-year-old nonverbal son in school. He does say some words. He's just non-conversational, It's really hard to get him to say words like what is this? And I know he knows, but he doesn't answer. And I know that a lot of it is like audio processing. Who really knows? He's so nonverbal. It's hard to and he's been assessed. The thing is, I wanted him to be talking more before I put him in school, but it's honestly hindering our ability to we have a septic situation. We need our septic tank fixed. Our neighbors never said anything about it. And then we get a voicemail today from one of the neighbors, like, you need to get this fixed. And like, I get it. It is gross that the water leaks out of it sometimes, not all the time. And yada, yada, yada. Like we, even with our tax return, we can barely afford and it's going to be really expensive. And yeah, that's part of being a homeowner. I'm still glad we don't rent, but it was just like literally found out an hour later that I got this job. And I was like, gosh, it was literally so I feel like I manifested it, not by being like, "I need a job, we need money. Oh no, I need more study money than Instacart, please God." By being like, "I know you've got my back, and it's happened before. Anytime we've always came to the situation where it's like it's time for me to go back to work full time, something always works out by the grace of God, like really well. AI is able to cause seizures." Glimmer Doom said, "Yeah, that. I guess you won't be able to live stream as much." Well, John, it's just 4 days a week, and the way I am, now, the last time when I was live streaming, it was like I was getting ready to have a surgery. And like, if you've never had surgery, there's like 4 appointments just before the surgery, like all the everything, the pre-blood work and testing. And so I won't be dealing with any of those medical problems. I won't be having a period every month, which my periods weren't horrible, but sometimes they would be, and then it trigger everything else. But anyways, it's like I almost feel like I'm going to be more reliable, like, I'll make a schedule for once on YouTube, which I think will benefit all of us if, like, you all know for sure like, I'm do pretty good with my Monday members only lives. I've been doing that every Monday for months. I think I've missed, like, 1, and so maybe it'll make me better at being, like, Saturday and whatever, Tuesday, 'cause I guess I can tell you, I'll probably end up saying it anyways. It's Wednesday through Saturday. So the struggle is real when you're a suburban white woman with a 401k and 900K home equity. The struggle is real when you're living like this. How do you cope? Al, I wish I had 900K in home equity. That's really funny. I'm sitting in a double wide, which I love my house, but it's funny. You either get like made fun of for living in a double wide trailer, or you have people say ignorant stuff like that. And I'm talking about how I can't afford to fix my septic. I wish you had a computer and could pull people up and call them out on Twitch, although I hate Twitch too. Oh, hey, Rebecca. Okay, that is something that it's like there's new internets being offered all the time. I'm tempted to try Starlink. When we have enough money coming in, I was just saying that to my son earlier. It's like, it's a shame I don't really want to support Elon Musk, but you're supporting somebody like Elon Musk, whoever you're getting the internet from. It's all like these conglomerates that have monopolies on everything. Thank you, Moonshiner. I am pretty confident with it. I think it might be some different duties, but it's like somewhere I've worked before. I should shut up. but I'm very, very happy, and, that's what makes it that's, like, the best kinda new job when it's like, um and it was just, like, scheduling, like, why I left last time. It's like, you know the place, I'm not gonna be, like, so nervous. I've been through the orientation before, and, yeah, probably will see some people. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. What animal did you think your mom was when you were a kid? Porter, that is so funny. If I had to answer that, like, cat came to mind, a cat. My mom has really pretty light green eyes, and "Hey, Caleb, how are you?" "Oh, yeah, that's husband Stitch," as, Moonshiner said. Yeah, it is very, it it's just horrible, like, the things that women go through and, like, how we aren't, like, honest about it. Like, I would be so honest with my daughter, any woman in my life. There's things I wouldn't tell you in the public, but, like, a woman one-on-one, like, about, like yeah, it absolutely changes you for the rest of your life, you know? And, like, there's something to be said about that. And it doesn't have to be for the worst. I was super young the first time I gave birth, but honestly, like, I everything was better for me basically after I healed. Let's just leave it at that. I need to drink my collagen before I'm like up peeing at 2 a.m. Hi, NYC man. I designed a propulsion engine that runs on water. I have sent my schematics to my supervisor and he told me to bury it or be fired and my work stolen. Any advice? NYC man, that is so funny. What a funny thing to say on a live. Hey Gary, how are you? What a month, Rhett said. It has been. Well, the month that just ended. Now we're starting. This is my birthday month. I definitely, gosh, I can't remember what day my birthday falls on, but I'm thinking about doing a live stream like on my actual birthday, and I'll actually ask for money. Like that's the only day I would feel right about like asking for donations. Oh, Gary, I missed you too. It's always good to see you. The Lord is our Savior, John B. said. Joe Wolf, hi, how are you? We can barely afford to live, nay, to love, Rhett said. Yeah, and like that's I totally understand I guess they're under the impression they don't realize like we live paycheck to paycheck because they probably are like, why haven't you gotten this fixed yet? And it wasn't bad during the winter time. When it warms up, it starts to get worse. So it's like all winter long, there was no like our septic water going across the street, you know? And like I've told you guys before, these are big, sprawling properties. Nobody's anywhere near it, but like it's closest to us in our house. And that is gross. And that's one reason I take my dogs out on leashes a lot and like yada yada. And like one time one of the dogs got sick for a day and I'm like, did they drink the septic water in our yard? It's because of my dumbass. I told a shed delivering company that they could drive. I said, I think the septic tank is there. I don't know. I guess you can. And it was kind of marshy before, but it got much worse after that. So basically, it's all my fault. And of course, I returned the shed and I told him, like, I'll pay off the shed with this tax return if you make a deal with me on it since you fucked up my septic leach field. And they said no. We're the old man unexpected said, "Hi, Dorky Times. That is such a funny name, Dorky Times. Do you have a channel? Thank you for subscribing, Bam Bang. Oh, hey, Keith, how are you? As you enjoy reading these words, realize how you just automatically naturally adapt, improvise, and overcome, and naturally detect, deflect, and disrupt any harmful intentions with more ease. They're so stupid they think all white people are rich. Shut the fuck up already," Scott said. Yes, I know what you mean. Starlink's a digital ID. Yep, you think so, Gloom? Greetings from Singapore. Cool. May I know which country is this? I'm in the US of A, unfortunately, Bam Bang. Somebody just left a comment on one of my shorts, like, just like basically talking shit about the US. I'm like, what can I say to that? It's so interesting to me that like what was touted as like the best country in the world. Now everybody's seeing through it. Jesus Christ the King, believe, surrender all your struggles to him, and you will have eternal life. Nothing else in the world can satisfy a heart that's hungry for unconditional love. Only one Savior, Jesus said. That's really nice. Only one. Thank you. Trolls are out early. I got on here kind of late. Thank you for saying happy birthday, Gary. You're the first person to say happy birthday to me this year. I'm just gonna say my birthday. It's March 25th. I was like on the fence about saying that because I'm like, the more information I give out about myself, the more somebody can find. I don't think it's going to be easy for anybody to find my last name if they haven't found it yet. I really do have like as little of a footprint online as one could. I mean, like I've never had Instagram. I've never had, or I had an X account once. I never used Facebook with my real name in like 10 years now. I don't have a Facebook account right now. Um, and like my emails all don't have my real name attached to them. I try everything I can to like not have my name out there. But my birthday is actually what used to be New Year's. Well, I brought this up before. March 25th used to be New Year's before they like really changed the calendar. I think in the 1500s or was it 1400s? And so I look forward to this time of year. I just found that out like 2 years ago. This is like this makes sense that the beginning of the year would be spring. Oh, and I saw the first daffodils of the year today. Oh my gosh. Keith said, all our comments bring all the trolls to the yard. We could heal them, but we'd have to charge. Oh my gosh, Keith, you're so funny. Nick Turner, I do wear my hair in a bun sometimes, but I'm not going to put my hair in a bun for you. My birthday's on a Tuesday. Thank you for looking it up, Glamor Doom. So I will be off work because I will have started my job. No, I did not fart. Why did I say fight, Mike? Mikhail? And I would tell you if I did. I've done it before. Happy birthday, Minnie. It just automatically and naturally be more blessed and beautiful more with every healing breath. Yes, and yes. Thank you, Keith. I'm not saying that I would definitely 100%, but if like somebody asked me, hey, did I just hear that? I would be sincere with you. I'm like, oh, Gary, you're so sweet. Gary, miss my lovely voice. Nick, no. See, this is what's so funny to me about male psychology. There's a woman you could find to do that for you, probably just for a few bucks too, on one of those like pay for sites. But like instead, you want to find a woman that's not doing that, even though there's plenty of sex workers out there online available for you. And you want the woman who isn't going to do stuff like that to do it. And like that's the conqueror. You want to conquer a woman. And it's just kind of funny to me. And how you're doing it is by asking a random stranger on the internet to put her hair up in a messy bun. I saw the funniest comment earlier where somebody said their friend was on a sugar daddy site and they were asking her why she was doing it, and she said that she gets paid to be mean to men, and they were like, she is like pretty snarky. And I was like, that's a perfect setup for her. And like I always found that to be fascinating. The like Dom sub thing. We are so desensitized to everything that nothing is ever going to change, but you know what can change? Our mindset. Yes, Rhett. Yeah, I'm an Aries. Thank you, May said happy birthday. That Raymond Grace, and it's somebody like it's just such a great message, and it is what the book The Secret was written about, which, I think that that was like kind of a lot of people featured in The Secret. Like the message was good and solid, and it is true. Like this has been something that a lot of great minds have known for a long time. We are energetic beings. Your heart makes enough electricity to make a 365-degree like magnetic field around your body that like keep 6 feet away during the pandemic. I think they did that so we wouldn't feel each other's energy. And like the less you connect with other people, the more likely you are to just like go along with all the mandates and stuff. And like, that's one reason I get excited to go back to work. And I do understand I've had the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom, even though I still think it's one of the hardest jobs on the planet. It's like I get excited going to work because you literally get like accolades for working full time in the society. And it is easy to me to know this is my schedule. I'm going to do it. And those days I don't have to do anything but work. With granted, there's going to be two people working, that's not gonna be literally all the time, but, there will be some things I'm gonna have to do as a parent. But and, like, now with my middle son driving himself to school, it's all working out perfectly. But, it is nerve-wracking as hell, and I already feel like I've aged 10 years, him driving on his own, but thank you, Francesca, that's really sweet. Oh, thank you, God's love. 25th is on a Wednesday. Oh, it's a Wednesday, Glamour Doom. Well, maybe I'll have my birthday stream the Tuesday before that. Yes, Sergey. I brush my teeth all the time. I had fake veneers put on my top front teeth, and I have like no enamel on my front teeth. I don't even think you guys are just so used to highlighter bleached teeth, which like, oh, that's so bad for your enamel. And if you don't have naturally brilliantly white enamel, which some white people do, but let's be real, that's morely a melanin thing. It's really bad for your teeth to just bleach them over and over. And One reason I always see people get hell for teeth, and, like, I live in Kentucky, you guys. I have, like, cover girl teeth for Kentucky. I'm not trying to be mean. I know somebody's gonna take that the wrong way, but it's true. It's funny to get on the internet and have people, like, say stuff about and they haven't for a long time. Like, nobody said anything for a long time. I was like, "Oh, maybe I need to adjust my light again," because I swear I adjusted my light, and the I've seen people there that Mackenzie Manor, the guy that had the weird, like, torture chamber disguised as a haunted house thing, he had such bad plaque buildup, you could see it from, like, 5 feet away. Oh, it was so disgusting. Like, you can tell when somebody doesn't brush their teeth, like, you can tell sincerely. Oh, Spronkler King, if you're still in here, I think that it's, the E-files, the Epstein files. I made a lot of content talking. I think that it's horrible in that it's affirmation that like a lot of stuff in Pizzagate was true in our world, or a lot of it is run by psychopath pedophiles that seriously harvest energy and adrenochrome and who knows what from people. And that's not even the worst of it. Like, I really do believe, in my opinion, they're really sincerely like farming. If you're gonna traffic people and you have the means to, why wouldn't you start a baby farm? Just like that John the God guy who Oprah had on her show before it all came out, that he would literally have women that had like his child to baby after baby after baby. And then when they could no longer give birth anymore, they were older, he just offed them. And I don't know exactly what was going on with these babies. 5 months ago, I talked about the story of these people in Arcadia, California. A very wealthy couple had several surrogacies at once, several surrogate children being taken care of in their house, almost like some kind of, they said when you walked in the door, it was like it was set up like a hotel. It was so, what is going on with these? And meanwhile, I'm just so thankful to get another warehouse job. At least like $750 a week after taxes. And of course it's like seasonal, no benefits, but like whatever. It's better than not, it's better than Instacart and putting all the wear and tear on my car, which I did one Instacart order today. In less than an hour, I made $40. It really is a blessing. Like when the orders are good, they're good. But that's because of the where I'm at. If you live in a rural area, you'd be surprised. There might be good Instacart orders because there's like a lot less Instacart shoppers and there's more driving, but, anyways, I think that it's horrible, Spronkler, in that, it's a really big problem, and when I think about, like, the end of times, and I'm not an expert on the Bible, but I think, like, the loss of innocence is a complete devastation for all of us. Yeah, I know you were just asking, Nick, and you were being polite. I appreciate that. That's smart to keep a small digital footprint. I try to do the same. How are you tonight, Lydia? I'm doing good, Donnie. How are you doing? I'm really happy, Donnie, because I got a job today. No, Ryan, I'm not high. I have old contact lenses in. I even took them out for a few hours before I got on and like put them right back in. I need to get new contacts. My 13th birthday was on Dingus Day. Prince died on my 15th, and my 18th was on Easter. Oh, Red, that's so neat that you remember all of that. I had our last son on Easter Sunday. Hi, God's love. Or you already said something, God's love. I already read your comment. She said, no, go away, LOL. Gleam, digital ID centralizes the user into the new updated data centers. I was guessing Tuesday 25th is a Wednesday. I was attempting to be psychic. Oh, you're so funny. I've been practicing, like, flexing my psychic muscles. Women will forever be a mystery. Hi, Jeremy Johnson. How are you? Oh, if my dumb team use my real name, I'm waiting for my date to be quoted offline in court. Oh man, China. Keith, conquering women burns too many calories. Geez. Yeah, a long time ago, way before I even thought of having a YouTube channel, I just instinctually, okay, it wasn't, okay, I know what it was. I was talking about vaccines a lot and stuff, and I felt like somebody was gonna call like CPS. I mean, now I wouldn't give a fuck if the stuff that I say, but it like back then, there really were people getting CPS called on them for saying things on Facebook about, and just keep in mind, a lot of people that, like, don't adhere to the CDC schedule, that doesn't mean that they don't get any at all, but it's fine if you don't either, anyways, that's a whole other conversation that I was, like, on the fence talking about, because if you look it up, like, it was a well-known thing, and now they're, like, trying to, like, blurry the lines. When we have measles outbreaks, that doesn't develop from an unvaxxed person. That is always from somebody bringing it from abroad, okay? That's what is going on. It doesn't just, like, appear like that, and they try to, like there used to be more resources that would cite that, that's like and then whenever they were letting people across the border, that's one thing that I was like, a lot of the left-leaning people that are so super pro-vaccine, they don't realize, like, when you let millions of people cross the border, there are going to be strains of diseases we don't vaccinate for. We vaccinate for certain strains, in other countries, they might vaccinate for different strains or not, not have that at all. And so that's one thing that it's like I do believe that they work in theory and like they're great in for like certain diseases. It's interesting to me they haven't came out with one for hand, foot, and mouth disease. Have any of you guys ever had that? I haven't, and my kids haven't, but I've been around so many people who had it and their kids had it and it went through their house. And it's like just wonder, I guess they can't. I heard about feet fetish, messy bun fetish is the first one. Don't cap. I know, right? Foot fetish is pretty tame. I think I have like monkey toes. Hi, DNA. How are you doing? What the fuck is feet the default fetish, anyways? I don't know, Rhett. I don't know. Maybe just because it's like associated with like, I want to say because it's like, I don't consider feet dirty, but that's what came to mind. It's just a little taboo because it's like the last body part you would really think about, or semi-tough. It's not. It's just really common. All Saints, a stay-at-home parent isn't easy. No, it's not All Saints, especially because you don't get compensated, right? A lot of the things I talk about when it makes it like what I even said it's the hardest job before because you are sacrificing a lot. And I know some people are lazy, but like a lot of people will literally automatically look at you as you're. I've had people when I told them I homeschooled my kids, they'd start telling me, I know the principal in the school is so insulting. You can ask anything, Rashid, if you're still in here. Staying at home with your own children is not a job, it's an amazing adventure. Alpha Hotel, that is a really good way to look at it. It is, that's why I said it's a luxury in a way, but it's also a huge responsibility. But it's a privilege, but a responsibility nonetheless, right? Your Honor, you weren't even there, so Moonshiner said, Twit just got here. You're absolutely gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Twit. $10 trillion or dinner with LeBron James. Oh, 10 trillion, of course. Agreed. Absolutely gorgeous, Steven said. Oh, thank you. My teeth are so yellow, but I think I'm gonna start taking better care of them. I probably will be Twit like hydro nana hydroxyapatite toothpaste it will literally help you regrow enamel if it's not too far gone. I think everybody should know about that. And they have whitening toothpaste. If I use whitening toothpaste, it really doesn't do anything. And I could show you guys, I have fillings on my two front teeth. They're actually like you can see, like it you couldn't see it for years. The guy did an amazing job, the best dentist I've ever had, one of those old school dentists. He was the one that told me about like there is arrested decay and where like your body takes care of it and like calcifies the decay and you don't have to drill into that. And a lot of these dentists nowadays, they tell you you need, especially like I had dentists, they're like, nah. I swear to God, they drilled my tooth for literally 1 second. It was definitely like a minor surface cavity that probably should have been just left the fuck alone to remineralize. And like back then, there's no such thing as remineralizing enamel. There, it cannot be done. But I think they were already doing it in Japan. They're growing teeth, whole teeth back in Japan with stem cells, I believe. But anyways, um, I yeah, I think, if you avoid I've even tried, like, straws, like, drinking, like, coffee through straws, and I got, like, silicone and glass straws, and I, like, tried really hard, and, like, I just, like I am just happy my teeth don't hurt every time I bite down. I had a bad root canal. Is Kentucky Fried Chicken a thing in Kentucky? Yeah, Rashid, it's here, but it's not, like, a big it's not a really big deal, like, of course, the Colonel, he's buried in Cave Hill, and I'm going to take you guys to Colonel Sanders' gravesite. I think spring would be a beautiful time to go to Cave Hill, and, eh yeah, it's like, of course, something people talk about, but it's not, like, that big of a deal. Like my guy, the human butt was a gift from God. Doesn't even have to be sexual. It can be a pillow, a stress ball, bongos, just something to play with. How can you be bored with a butt? It's therapy, Russ. Yeah, I think the human body is, amazing and beautiful in a lot of ways, and it's a fine balance, being able to be open, but not, and treat it sacred at the same time, but not be a prude. Yeah, that can be great. Boobs can be great. I totally get the appeal. Oh, wow, you're probably related in different ways to your siblings, being from Kentucky. Oh, like I haven't heard that one before, Mr. Wrinkle. You know, my father's side of the family, with their first, my dad was a first generation American in Kentucky. His parents were immigrants, just so you know. Good night. It's 4:05 a.m. Oh, good night, Lauren. You need to get some sleep. Sandra Hornwell, keep your nose out. It's got nothing to do with you. Oh, Mr. Wrinkle, I don't consider myself QAnon, no. I've said many times I always thought QAnon was some kind of psyop, and that's not to say that nothing QAnon ever said was wrong, right? But I never closely followed that. I never thought there was like people in tunnels and all that stuff. I mean, the runway model is just trafficking. Yes, Rhett. Yes, that is something that's been coming out a lot now. With the internet, these people don't even have to try as hard. Clinton Foundation does this. Yes, Bill, like human trafficking, like the stuff in Haiti. Rich, Earth is a soul farm. That's what it feels like, Rich. It's like, I know we're here to learn lessons, but and I know it sounds so nihilistic, but like with everything going on, I just can't. I'm like, are we in hell? Are we all learning the lessons we need to in hell? Like, how can it get much worse? But like, I know there's still so much to be thankful for, and I I love my life, and then I feel bad saying that. Like, I just know so many people are suffering, and like we were pretty behind on bills, we just got our tax return, and, like, that's what I was saying, like, we have now everything is going towards, like, the septic, which is, like, that's fine, that's part of it, like, that's first world problems, but it's, like, it it is draining, it's exhausting to work, 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 and not get ahead, like, we should be able to get ahead, and there's years that we could have saved and been better about saving, and that's what I tell my kids, like, as soon as you start making money, like, you need to start saving. I wish we would have done that. And another thing, retro, what happened to some nice proper hips? Moonshiner said. Yeah, it's funny how our literal body types trend, like now it's trending to be skinnier with the Ozempic, or maybe it's starting to, or now I think people are seeing the result of having no fat in your face and seeing the women that took Ozempic and men age so badly, which is kind of funny. What is William Basinski, Jason? What is that? You people scare me, Mr. Wrinkle said. You look like you could be an actor. Oh, Kane, maybe 10 years ago. Grandpa, how are you doing? Warning, folks aren't ready for that. If you are, wish I didn't know. How are you, Grandpa? Moonshiner, the hips are to grab to get closer to the butt, Rich. Hi, the dancing corpse. How are you? I don't have that. I flex your muscles. Why am I doing that? No. I did so much landscaping yesterday. Elijah, I guess he's a butt man. Donnie, oh, that's good. You've got a job. I pray you meet some cool coworkers. I have some awesome coworkers right now. They make my day so fun. Yes, Donnie. It's the kind of thing that's pretty solo, but of course, still, people being nice, at least in passing, is always nice, right? And it's been a long time. Oh my gosh, you guys, have I ever worked first shift? I don't think I've ever worked a first shift job. This first shift job. Tips me and trainers and yeah, it's like most women aren't did the genetic lottery of being like a literal hourglass, you know what I mean? It's it seems like women I'm gonna shut up. Are you complaining about this? No, I'm not complaining. Emotional. My name's Lydia Emotional, and I am married, but I love making new friends. That sounds so fucking cheesy. Did you see a complaint? No, Elijah, what are you talking about? Hi, hey, misery. Gary, how are you doing? Hi. Vax, Bill said. I concur. Our God's gift to humanity, Rhett said. Um, just a healthy body, just to have like a healthy functioning body. And I have so much wrong with me. So my heart goes out to you if you have chronic health conditions. And I like, my bladder is so bad. I have to like if I drive 20, 30 minutes, I have to make a beeline to the bathroom as soon as I get to where I'm going. And I know there's things that I can now that I have a job, I actually have the prospect of going to physical therapy for this because that was something my gynecologist, the surgeon that did my surgery, wrote for like, gave me a referral for. But I'm like, I didn't even bother calling the place. I'm like, I don't have health insurance. We can't afford that out of pocket right now. It'll happen when it's meant to, and I can manage. It could be worse. It's not like I have to wear diapers, but it really sucks. And I think about a time in my life when my life wasn't like that and I didn't have to pee, and like I can not drink anything for like 3 hours and it won't be quite as bad, but it really is ridiculous. No, I'm none of those things, Selena. I have like a little bit of college, but no degrees. Can you give me six lucky numbers? 3, 25, 3, 3, 5, 2, 85. You didn't give me a like how high they could go or whatever. 55 people are watching Fun with Cars. Said, how are you doing, Fun with Cars? Um, I've clicked on a few of your lives. I feel all shy, and you were doing that hood to your, what were you calling it? That Lambo thing. That was really neat. What we need is a vaccination for NPD. This country is infected bad. I want some gold veneers or full gold crowns. Yeah, Fendi. The only thing with that is like I almost wonder if I'm allergic to it's like acrylic stuff they use, like the resin they use for fillings. They use the same or some material like it to adhere the gold to the tooth. If I was really rich and I needed any work, I would get gold. I would want gold in my teeth, you know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily showing just because me personally, I wouldn't want that as like a middle-aged woman, but I do think gold teeth are cool. Only to find out that was the last concert I'd be going to with her. May she rest in peace. I didn't see your comment before that. Let me go back. Charlie Kirk wouldn't want any of this. My girlfriend had acid reflux so bad that she had to have her esophagus rewired, and now there's a whole bunch wrong with her, poor girl. But the snuggles are amazing. Um, I am so confused. I never understood the attraction to boobs. I'm a straight woman and I understand it, but like when a man is like so obsessed with just boobs, that's like complete objectification. Their brain's been like wired to just um and I'm sorry to hear that, right? The way you made that comment sounded like the girlfriend with acid reflux was still alive, but I'm really sorry. That's one great thing about having memories with people. You can't take that away. Aloha, Hawaiian. How are you? Oh, thanks for the reminder. I've been meaning to order the Bio Repair Dental Toothpaste. Yes, A. Rebecca. I need to make an order too. And I'm going to order some canned salmon and canned tuna. Like that's what when I have my tax return money, I get cases of tuna and 'cause, it's the Wild Planet brand that's, like, really good. "Hi, Jim, how are you doing?" "Actually had fried chicken today," Moonshiner said. "That's nice." I love fried chicken. Root canal, I would never wish on my worst enemy. Yeah, Rhett, I wouldn't do it now, and I'm not giving any advice, but if anybody ever gets, like, told they need a root canal, I would highly, highly, highly suggest just getting the tooth removed if it comes to that, or just, like, not going that route. They're often there's been a lot of evidence that they might lend to a lot of other health issues, even cancer. And I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying it was horrible. I said for years it hurt every time I bit down. I had to literally throw a fit like a toddler. I had to kick my legs. I need this out. Seriously. This dentist was like, I recommend antibiotics. I remember I was like, no, everybody keeps saying this. There's something is wrong with this tooth. Take it out now. And then when he did, he was like, oh, it was a chronic infection calcified to your jawbone. You were right. This was the only way to remedy it. There was no antibiotics that would take care of this. And like you had to cut the tooth. Oh, and by the way, I made a hole in your sinus and plugged it up with a collagen plug. And he did it for like $200, which is crazy when you think about like the he said as far as tooth extractions go, this is as serious as it gets. Was right before 4th of July weekend, never called me back. Obviously didn't care about my care because he was a family friend who did it very cheaply. I could feel the stitches. Anyways, I hate dentists with a special kind of passion. And the dentist that did the original filling that turned into a root canal, the only filling I ever had in my life up until that point when I was a 10-year-old child, and I said, "It still hurts." And my mom took me back to him. He did another x-ray and he's like, "You're slobbering too much on like those bite wings." And so it turned into a root canal because it was a cavity that he didn't fill right. And he was a quack and he did end up offing himself, which I know is horrible, but I guess dentists have a high rate of that. And I think it does have a lot to do with the chemicals they're exposed to. Uh-huh. Mercury is the second most deadly element known to man. It's okay to put in your mouth. And Please don't. And I'm sorry if you do have it in your mouth. I really am. But like that's something I feel very strongly about. And our FDA, I believe, said in September of 2023, they made an official letter that's like, we're not saying that mercury amalgam is bad in fillings, but we're saying that women and children shouldn't get it. Women that might have children and children. So I'm done talking about that. Militant prepping, it's you. How are you doing, Militant? I got a job today, Militant, and I'm celebrating. And I feel like I manifested it because it's seriously like a really good job. It's going to be a really good fit. I saw the Cornell in person in 1972. That's cool, Selena. I don't know. The Cornell, is that a band? Forgive me, I don't know. I said, Aloha Hawaiian. Maybe you read that after, before I said it. Who do you think won in a fight, a grizzly or lion? Oh gosh, Joseph. That's really tough to say. I want to say grizzly. They're just so, the way that they can get up on their hind legs. But I could be wrong. Q is a psyop to data farm critical thinkers. Yes, Gloom. I feel like that about a lot of stuff. I feel like like the way that they make fun of flat earth, the way flat earth has taken over any conversation about hollow earth theory, or like why do they photoshop clouds on, it's clear they're like stamping clouds on these images of the earth. And I'm not saying that the earth isn't round, but we do know that it's like more oblong than what they show us. But anyways, grizzly winning easy, Elijah said. Charlie Kirk wouldn't want any of those, Rhett said. Yeah, I think he was a good guy deep down inside. It's really sad, militant prepping. I haven't been watching any of Candace's stuff on Erica. I just feel like it's probably, and I'm glad she's doing it. I feel like it's probably the same information most of us that have been following it have heard. I do think it's super interesting how she seems to be not saying the right information about like her parents, and she calls her grandparents that are actually her dad's grandparents, like her mom. It's weird. It can get way worse, militant said. Lion, Joseph said, hands down. Oh, God, you're amazing, God. The older I get, the more I realize Job is it's Job, right? Or is it Job from the Old Testament had a hell of a backbone? I don't know that story. I know I've heard of it. Lion not beating a bear, not even close, Elijah said. That's what I felt like. And it also depends on the size, I guess, right? Like grizzlies are bigger bears, right? How we turn in bullshits that can't keep away from disaster, our families. And when are you going to take that vacation you planned all last year, Charia? My only vacations are going to be like nearby. There's this one place I want to go to that's like it's open to the public. It's a really, really cool church. I'm not going to go into detail more, but I want it to be a surprise. But it's like something that I've wanted to go to for years. And I'm like, we're going to do that soon. I should try to do it now before I go back to work. Friends are just foreplay for affairs. Oh, I don't agree with that, Edgy. I do agree. Like personally, as a married woman, I don't feel I wouldn't want to be alone with a man that wasn't my husband. I did have a friend who was gay. That's different. You know, super gay. That was but even me and him only hung out like one time. But everybody's different, and I'm not saying that that's the way every couple should be, but I didn't think it was a big deal, like, when Mike Pence said he wouldn't have dinner with a woman and without his wife. I'm like, I don't know, I guess I'm a little bit of a prude, but I do think, like, why even put yourself in that situation? And I teach my sons as a man, until you know a woman really well, don't put yourself in a situation where you're alone with her because you never know what she might conspire and say, and, like, I don't think women lie about that stuff often, but it's just like, when they do, they can ruin a man's life and just like be vengeful. Like, anyways, Nick, how are you doing? My girlfriend had acid reflux so bad that she had to have her esophagus. Okay, so I read that comment. I'm not that far up, and I'm really sorry to hear that, Red. The things some people go through. I think I've been through a lot health-wise, but I get humbled by people all the time. I never understood the hype about snuggles, Elijah's in. Everybody's different. Some people like is it proprioceptive input? It's like deep pressure. Some nervous systems love it, and some will be like, get off of me. Everybody's different. Oh, there was a whole rat said. Austrian. I have a feeling I know who this is. I was literally talking about how I got a job today, you fucking loser. That's so funny. Get a job. Rewind the live stream because I have a feeling you have nothing else to do. And yeah, the only reason I don't want to say where it is, even though it's like a completely safe place with tons of security, is like because I've talked about people who rape horses and whip it out and try to circumcise themselves in front of a child. And since they don't work a job as well, I'm like just like sitting there waiting. 'Cause it is a little dumb of me, like some of the information hi Big Mousy, how are you doing? Uh, okay. The rant was about my mother forcing me to get the vax to attend a concert with her, even though I was anti. It was my mother that ended up dying after the vax while battling clear cell cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that, Rhett. I had parents who were very pro, and my stepdad had a bad heart attack, and he said he thinks it was the shots and he's not getting any more. And it's really sad to see people go through that. And they knew my stance already because I had a flu one that really messed me up, and that's when I learned the truth, and I was always like, I don't wanna be the reason why somebody makes a certain medical decision or, especially for their kids, but yeah, I did feel like it was, like, kinda like, "Did you know this? Do you guys know this?" And I was learning all these things about processed foods and food dye and how food is in other countries, I'm talking about, like, 15 years ago, and, I could see looking back on it now that I'm not an early 20s, how that would be annoying to some people and like you don't use your social media for that. But that's why I'm like, I'm not a social media just gonna play the hi, how are you? How are your kids? And like that's you keep it very surface level. You're not allowed to really go in. You have to like put on the facade of like I'm okay all the time. And I can't do that. And that's why YouTube is such a blessing to be able to get on here and like talk about what's on my mind. How are you, Sindano? I had a knee injury from soccer in high school, and my doctor told me that like would always be worse and hurt the rest of my life. And now it's 100% better. I don't know why she would tell me that. Donnie, that's so I love how you said that. Yeah, that's a perfect example of like why it is so horrible when doctors gaslight or straight up tell you. I follow a woman who, and I know her child has a super rare genetic disorder, but she was told your child's not going to live, and she's celebrating her 16th birthday now. And it is amazing, like neuroplasticity, how our brains can rewire themselves and work around injury. I think, in my opinion, like there's I mean, I know your nervous system is all over your body, but there's something about that, like, body wide that's, like I really do believe I've been through a lot, and I always get better even though, like, my last surgery, it took a long time. I like, I couldn't imagine being told this is what it's gonna be like the rest of your life no matter what, and I was told I would outgrow PCOS. That didn't happen to me. I don't know why doctors think they know the future, when they should know better than anybody else that they don't know 100% what the outcome will be. The real question we need to ask is if we went back to the moon. If we went to the moon, why haven't we went back? Rhett said. Yeah, I wonder that a lot too, Rhett. It's Sarah Silverman. That's a new one, Kevin's. Looks nothing like Sarah Silverman. Thank you. Gosh. I don't think so either. I think she's a cute girl, but like I don't even think like well, maybe our skin tone. Anyways, um, can you mimic a door hinge? No. Kodiak bears are the biggest bears. Is that what you're saying, Fendi? I think they are, or like polar maybe, but like Tig is amazing too, criminally underrated. Who is that? Is that a YouTuber, Rhett? Nobody been to the moon and never because they would get blind, Mike said. I do totally understand all the reasons why people think we haven't. Hey, Pyramid, how are you? Sounds awesome. Congrats on your new job. Thank you, Pyramid. He said grizzly or lion. Kodiak is lion, not a fair fight, Elijah said. You definitely don't want to be alone with Anton, and the shit going on with him is crazy. What's going on with him, Fendi? I haven't watched any of his stuff in weeks. T Dank, I'm sorry that you don't have a job and you wish you had one. I hope it works out soon. Just keep trying. I know that's what I was doing, looking up jobs almost every day. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're hiring and I didn't know. And I get to get somebody like the referral bonus, somebody that we know works there. So it's like, I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy. I know the job actually sounds like it might be 2 or 3 kind of mix, which is good because it's all stuff I can do and it's not gonna be as boring if they're gonna have me move around a little bit more. I had a good day, Patriot. I had a pretty bad headache, but I'm over it and I was really happy. I did one Instacart order that was good. How was your day, Patriot? Edge of the South. I wish employers didn't keep postponing my hire day. Oh, that really sucks. I know what that's like to be really happy you have a job and it's like, gosh, you get the job because you need to make money. Kel, I don't know. I've never drank a gallon of milk. Gloom. All right. If you're traveling the speed of light in a car and then turn on the headlights, what happens? Right? That's really funny. Is that like a riddle with an answer? If you're traveling the speed of light in a car and turn on the headlights, who would win in a fight in Walmart parking lot or a Walmart parking lot or a stripped 17 millimeter 1/4 inch drive socket? That is so funny, Swanee. Right, my mother went RN for the biggest trauma center in New York too. That's the sad irony. They killed her. Oh, right. Yeah, my grandma was a CNA most of her life. She was a very faithful, got her pneumonia and her flu. She died years before COVID, but she died from pneumonia. Same thing with grandpa. He was in a nursing home though, so like they just give those things routinely. And he died from pneumonia. In my opinion, allegedly, I wouldn't doubt it if that's part of the plan. I'm sorry. You give these people with like people that are elderly in an immune home in retirement homes are the kind of people that healthy individuals should be vaccinating to protect and keep in a certain bubble. There should be the really tiny babies with an underdeveloped immune system, in my opinion, and the older people whose immune system just declines with age that we should be like trying to protect. And we shouldn't be giving those to them every year. It's insanity, but that's just my opinion. And I'm not a medical expert. I'm not giving any advice. I could barely be bothered with LinkedIn. I got all extra. And then again, it was probably an eventuality. Yes, Moonshiner, I know what you mean. I don't even know how I got on LinkedIn. I didn't do it intentionally. It's so funny. Gloomer Doom, my father passed away from long-term COVID vaccine. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Gloom. I'm so sorry. It's awful. Patriot, my leg hurts and I'm bleeding. I'm sorry, Patriot. Are you talking about you're bleeding from your leg? Are you like on your rag? I'm sorry. I am from Kentucky Dodge. I'm from Louisville, but we live in South Central. I always wanted to live like more rurally. I grew up in a little town in Indiana for like half my childhood. Thank you for the 100, Jimmy. Jiminy Christmas. I love Christmas so much. I love Christmas so much that like about like once a month, I don't know, maybe once a week, I think about like how long it is until Christmas season. I'm like, oh, we've only got like 6 more months until we can start putting up Christmas decorations now. Um, Now we're in March. Tig Notaro is a stand-up comedian woman. Oh, really, Rhett? Well, that's cool. I love comedians. You know, seems like either really like them or not. You know what I mean? Wanted to say hi from Louisiana. Oh, that's cool, Dirty South. How are you doing? Jennifer Aniston double. That is so funny. Sarah Silverman and Jennifer Aniston. Come on, you guys. Come on. Jennifer Aniston. Now y'all just throwing names out there. I know. That is so funny to me. No, Jack, I have a husband. Mariah Carey lookalike. I know. Oh my gosh, I wish. Mariah Carey, she is like one of the most beautiful women ever. Stephen Wright, the driest comedy. Do you like him, Rhett? I guess you wouldn't be saying his name if you didn't like the dry comedy. I'm sorry for your loss, Glimmer Doom Moonshiner said. You feel loved because I love you, Alan said. Oh, that's so nice. Yes, I do feel loved. That's what's so nice about really feeling like connected to people. And I tell people telepathically I love them all the time. I'll be like in the line at the grocery store and I'm looking at somebody and I'm like, I just want to say I love you because I'm so glad we're like here and we can, especially not be like in a war-torn country yet as of this day. And that's and I mean that to like live in honor of the people that do lose their lives every day in horrible ways. It's like, what can you do? But it is a blessing just to be able to go to the grocery store. I replaced Jim Carrey. Sorry about that. I'll return him tomorrow at work. Oh, yes. Do you guys think that was the real Jim Carrey at that? It was like a film festival in France? I don't think it was. I don't think it was. the his eye collar, why would he change his eye collar? And I understand getting certain, and we were just talking about this, like, yes, progesterone, you get I didn't explain this well. I think your other hormones kind of like recede, and it's not that you get more progesterone the older you get, but it's just like it becomes like this is what I understand, and I'm not an expert, like kind of like the dominant hormone, or it's just like more prevalent in your body because you have less estrogen. And that's one reason why people that are older, like really old people, have like big noses and big ears because progesterone makes your cartilage like grow. Or is it a lack of progesterone? Maybe it's a lack of progesterone. And that's what's going on because I've been told it's the stop hormone. So, anyways, his nose isn't just bigger from age, it's a different nose. What is going on? And it doesn't look like to me like he got plastic surgery, and I don't mean this in an offensive way. I think it's beautiful when people actually age and you can be beautiful with wrinkles and everything. He doesn't look like he got plastic surgery like to look younger. He still looks like his you know what I mean? It's not like Mickey Rourke stuff where his eyes are changed because he got some drastic surgery. Thanks, Moon. It shouldn't have happened, like many others claim said. Yes, it's so sad to think about all the way that that changed so many people's lives and all the people that would still be here today. Every time I see somebody passed away from anything, I think a lot of people probably, well, you know what I mean. There's exceptions, not like a car wreck, but you hear about somebody dying from cancer and stuff, and they're 48 years old. Oh, Zion, that is so nasty. I was brutally beaten and humiliated by my sorority sisters. Patriot Rebel, I'm really sorry to hear that. Did y'all see that hazing thing? The Future Leaders of America? That weird Blair Witch shit where they're all sitting in like a room with the lights off with their no shirt on. You know what I'm talking about? It was like made its rounds around the internet on my feed. It was like all these crime where like the fire alarm went off and the cops came to this house where they were doing a hazing ritual. And that was my first thought is like, these are the people that are going to be like running everything in a decade or two, you know? Like that's where all these weirdos that are covering for themselves in the Epstein files, that's where like a lot of their weird secret society shit began. And it is weird. People know about it. We know that these things happen. I don't have a band, and it's so crazy that I don't think that they should be allowed to do. But I know what can you do? Like you can't really outlaw all that shit. I guess I was born in Madison, Indiana. Drew, that's so cool. I love Madison. I believe Madison is one of the biggest historical districts in our country. If not, maybe it's the biggest historical district in Indiana. Madison is the precious town on the Ohio River in southern Indiana. If you guys don't know about it, it's like, what would you say, like 45 minutes away from Louisville, maybe an hour. Kat Von D lives in a town near Madison. It's called Vivi, but it's spelled like Vevey, but she lives in a mansion that's like near Madison. It's just a really, really, really cool town. One of the few places, if I was to live in Indiana, I would want to live in, honestly. There at Brown County, not much was reset societally. Oh, you think so, Elijah? I don't know about that. It was like the biggest wealth transfer, and I just feel like the lives that were lost is huge. How much does that change the timeline of everything else? And like what I think about like when a person dies young or at any age, when like my grandma died at 70, that was too young. But you know, especially when life is lost very young, it's like that person could have cured some disease. They could have, of course, that probably would have been stifled, but you know what I mean? Who knows how much it affects the rest of us when people lose their lives earlier? No, Jimmy, I don't do Snapchat. Mr. Kirkby said Jesus is king. Hi, Crunchy, how are you? Nashville here. Oh, hey, Mike, Nashville, Tennessee. Glimmer Doom and Old World Maps. North Pole is Jesus land. Guess he might have a list of naughty and nice. Oh, that's cool, Gloom. I love stuff like that. Old maps. Even though I have no respect for Jews anymore, I can't help but love Louis Black President. Um, it's interesting to me how accurate they were and how far back some of these maps go that have like certain, you know, depictions of places that supposedly weren't even like discovered, but they knew it was there. Stephen Wright, a one-liner comedian like Mitch Hedberg, probably spelled Mitch last name wrong, but yes, dry humor, Glimmer Doom said. I think I like dry humor. Is that what you would call like British humor? I am not a presenter on MTV, no WMG. What do you think about tummy stick? I don't know what that is, Sinister. Hell no, that wasn't Jim Carrey, Fendi said. Yeah, I really don't think so. You put respect on Mitch, Rhett said. That was Scary. Look like Carrie, Gloom said. And why? Do you guys think a bit because a few years ago he was saying some like existential, like, I'm not me, I'm not here, I'm not really here, and I'm not and then he was on what was it, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, one or the other, and was saying how dare you? I'm sick of it. And it was obviously it was like a little skit. He was trying to be like silly, but he was talking about the Illuminati. And it's like, I don't know. I do think that Joan River, was that her name? Joan River. You know what? The older lady might have gotten offed for saying shit about Michelle Obama. I don't know. I just have a feeling. These hard times got me singing Negro spirituals. We just keep swimming, Moonshiner said. Do you really know Negro spirituals? Because I think that would be cool. And I do not want to downplay what slaves went through and indentured servants, but like it is. Oh, good night, Donnie. I hope you sleep well. Love you. I really do like it's basically what we are indentured servants right now, right? Like just Elijah, like songs that slaves would sing in the fields that got passed down. Glamour Doom, I love their comedy. Norm Macdonald, Bill Hicks, George Carlin. Yes, Norm. Good night, Donnie, Moonshiner said. Stephen Wright, Mitch, Kevin Nealand. Oh, Gloomer Doom. Yes, I know Kevin Nealand. Oh, hey, TWC. How are you doing today? I got a job, TWC, so I was happy about that. And good night, Donnie Gloom said. Hello from Walnut Creek, Ohio, Amish country. Oh, that's cool, Dave. How are you doing? Are you anywhere near that snake mound, Dave? I just feel attracted to mounds. I feel the need to visit that snake mound thing. And that's one thing that if I had more money, I would make a trip and go out of my way. I don't know. I think I'm like 6 or 8 hours away from it. John Panette was amazing. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm going to leave and never going back, Patriot said. Are you talking about the country? 8 million children go missing a year. Nobody is doing anything about it, right, Jorge? Jorge, it's horrible. Now we know for sure, as if like most people kind of knew probably what was going on. It's just horrible people doing horrible things, right? There was some case, oh, it was so horrible that just this guy just got thrown in jail. 30-year-old case, a 7-year-old girl he took and murdered. And it's just Gloom, all the pristine colleges are clubs, grooming. Yes, Gloom. Yes, grooming in so many ways. Moonshiner, Elijah like Black Betty and Wade in the water. There was somebody on here, I forget their name like always, but they were a Harvard they didn't graduate from Harvard. They left after 1 year because she couldn't stand it. She told her story about how she grew up in like upper middle class, but this was a small town in Illinois. So she said she'd never been around like actual real rich people. And then she went to Harvard and she couldn't mentally handle the attitudes of these people, just their attitudes. And then one of her friends, like, of course, she made some friends, was essayed, and she basically was like, "It was my fault." Like the friend that was essayed was like, "I shouldn't have left my drink," and like that's just like the attitude. And I get it. That's you naturally like blame yourself because you always were like, "Well, I didn't have to be there," or something, and you just want to like, that it's going to be super embarrassing to go tell anybody about it and go through all of that. And so many assaults go unreported. And basically, this woman's story was about what a cesspool it was, and she volunteered reading to kids with one of her classmates, and they take the bus to go to the school and back every week. And one day the guy was like, "Hey, do you want to come over to my house and my apartment and play video games?" And she was like, "Sure, this guy seems like a good guy." And so she goes, he gives her a drink, she starts to feel really funny. 5 members of the football team walk into his apartment. And she made it out of there. I'm sorry if I told you guys the story already. She made it out of there, and she doesn't know how she ended up back in her bed, but she did. And that was like she was already wanting to leave, and she made the actual actions to like leave after that quarter. And like she said the guy never said anything to her, never even looked at her again. And I think that is like that shit is so prevalent. It happened to me one time. I'm not gonna go into detail about it right now. Like, I think it's happened to so many women that, it's just insanity that, when you talk about, like, energy harvesting and what these people know that a lot of other people don't when it comes to positive thinking even, that, yeah, they feed they're evil and they feed off of that shit, and they all feed off of it together. Big Mike, those frat house boys have been doing that stuff for decades now. It isn't nothing new. Have you not seen Revenge of the Nerds? I know, Big Mike. No, definitely. That's what I said. We've all known about it for a long time, and it's still going on, Because what can you do when they're like technically adults? But I've told my kids so many times, please don't. People die taking like 21 shots on the night they turn 21. It's like, don't fall into the peer pressure shit that you know that is dangerous. It will kill you possibly. Gloom said, save the children, save the world. Yes. Hi, Anon. How are you? Baltimore here. That's cool, Robert. How are you doing? Baltimore seems like a neat city. I think Sabby's in Boston. Sabby Sabs, she's yeah, she's in Boston. Moonshiner, sea monsters are real. That's funny that you said that because I was literally reading an article on the National Geographic that was talking about how the Loch Ness monster might have been an elephant because it was like some stop for a circus. I'm kidding you, I'm not kidding you. That was so funny to me. My 8-year-old had it. He had it out and was looking through that National Geographic, and I read the article to him and was like, "This is so funny." "Okay, I got you, Moonshine," Elijah said. "You put respect on Monty Python, the Paris sketch." I never watched any Monty Python, Rhett. Big Mike, this chick has some well-around intelligence. Impressive. Thanks, Big Mike. I think I know what you mean. Happy March 1st. Yes, TWC. Happy March 1st to you. This is my birthday month, TWC. Truman Show is Gnostic history, Gloomer Doom said. Ooh, Mr. Quantum Wellness. Hey, I wrote a song. Will you please play it exclusively? I don't think I can do that, Quantum. Rhett, also, does anyone want to point out the irony of the e-files being 6 million pages? Right? And like the stuff that they've let us see, that if that's like what they're allowing us to see, what the hell does the rest of it say? And I thoroughly believe it's just like something I know in my bones. I feel that strongly about it. This is why Trump is being played like a puppet. Like, I think he was never that sincere to begin with, but like they have so much against him. And I used to be the person that thought he doesn't even drink. He doesn't drink alcohol. He's a pretty straight-laced guy. I've never seen one of his kids falling out of a limo with their crotch showing, like he seems to be a decent. They're pretty low key. I really like Ivanka. I know I don't know this woman personally. I just think for somebody that was raised the way that she was, she seems pretty like grounded and down to earth for somebody that came from the status she does. I don't know. I just get good vibes from her. And so I always wanted to like think good things of him. I do think his sons are like Beavis and Butthead, don't get me wrong. But yeah, like they're not all into all these scandals, like Hunter Biden and stuff. And it seemed like he was doing something right. At least he was married when he had his kids. I know one child was with his mistress he married, but anyways, so I totally understand people that still want to. Joan Rivers, yep, Gloom said. I learned to fight and kiss in jail, Jack said. The world is better off in pink, WMG said. Mr. Quantum, you can post your song on your page. Hi, Silva, how are you doing? Hello from Poland. This is so cool, XYZ. How are you doing? There's so many people from all over the place. We've had Hawaii, Baltimore, Poland, where else? I think it feels like it's been a little while since somebody from India, or at least they said they were from India in the chat. I don't know what that is. WKUK. Is that like a comedy? That sounds so familiar. Is that like a comedy club like collaboration thing? Where the fuck would you post it, Quantum Rat? Oh, you're trying to be funny, Moonshiner, Effendi said. Jorge, they go after cartels, gang, Iran, but they have never gone after the group of people kidnap children. I wonder why. Yes, Jorge, exactly. I know. If anybody really sincerely thinks they're trying to like help the Iranian people, which like I do want the best for everybody, but if you really think that's what we're fixing to do, driving up into northern Michigan tomorrow for skiing. Oh, that sounds like fun, though, Rooker. Good luck. That sounds like so much fun. Patriot, are you a factory worker? My father owns a mattress company. No, I have been, Patriot. I getting ready to work in a warehouse, not a factory. Jorge, yes, but approach the subject with caution, Gloom said. We have not seen the full scale of darkness yet. The heart will break when the truth is exposed. Yes, Gloom. You probably heard of Padre Pio, Gloom. What do you think about him and his prophecies? Because that's something that I've told myself for like a year I want to do a video about. And the 3 days of darkness that's prophesied in the Bible, for some reason that always stuck with me. And I'm like, I know I'm not an expert. And then I feel like kind of silly talking about things when I don't even know if it's Job or John. Thank you, USA, for your kind and care in freeing my country, Iran. We have hope after decades of terror. We love your President Trump and America's people. Well, RT, if you're really in Iran, we love you too. And I really do wish the best, but don't really, I mean, I heard mixed things when it came to Iraq and Afghanistan, when it came to like how the people that lived there felt about our presence and everything. So it really makes me glad to hear that anybody's happy. That's what I hope everybody is. She's lucky. I wish I could have 5 women at once. No one said, right. I already replaced my Polish flag. I've had since I was 13, 11 years ago and replaced it with a Hammerskins flag. If you know Pink Floyd, The Wall, you know where we are now. Follow the worms. Oh my gosh, Red, that's so funny. Um, that's so funny. I was just listening to The Wall. No, it's so it's depressing to say those things like we are like indentured servants, but that's like, so what are we gonna do about it? You guys will see me. I mean it. I'm going off grid again. I'm like determined to not to give as little of my money as need be to the powers that be. Be as like self-sustainable as possible. And Narrowway Homestead, Nate, I forget his last name. He's a really cool channel if you like homesteading type stuff. And it's just the kind of feeling you feel when you're like accomplished. And I know this isn't for everybody. This isn't the way for absolutely everybody. Although do think it would be awesome if like most people did have gardens. But I know that like some people are physically disabled and it's just like, not possible for them. They don't have the land to. But like the fulfillment you feel like, and it's like being a steward of it. Like I'm not laying eggs, but taking care of the chickens and going out and getting a few, several eggs is like an amazing feeling that they've taken from us that it's possible for most everybody to have. Granted, I know not everybody can have 6 hens. Like there's always, stipulations and exceptions, but gardening, the feeling of accomplishment from just growing something to harvest, uh, having something that is like nutritionally dense and it hasn't been harvested in a field where people just like use the bathroom and can't wash their hands. And that's where we get like the E. coli outbreaks, listeria. Like the quality of everything has gone down so much. And it is disheartening, like paying more for things or like the quality is worse. We pulled up to a gas station a day that was ethanol. And they had a sign on the pump that was like, if you want ethanol free gas, go to their gas station. I was like, what? I didn't think anybody did this anymore. Is this a new thing or was it always just like the janky country gas station? I don't get it. But it's the same thing with like my hysterectomy, man. Like I was so depressed. I know this is horrible. I'm just being honest. I There was times I would wish to get cancer. And here I was getting biopsies every year and it got more painful with each round of biopsies and the recovery period was longer. So I know that's a horrible thing to think, but please put yourself in the getting like 5 biopsies in one procedure to remove a mass and it keeps coming back and it keeps coming back and you're not going to really get it remedied and taken good care of for good until it is actual cancer. And then I remember being like, this is the worst thing. I've lost people from cancer. How dare I? I'm like shaming myself. Like I can't believe that I am a living, breathing being wishing for something like that. That's how fucked up the medical system is and what it does to people. And that's when I really was determined to change my mindset. I was determined. And I didn't know when I got the job that I got that it had such excellent health care. I didn't know, but I swear that was God. Like this is like, and I would love to get to the point where I'm getting like tens of thousands of views on a video to make a video and that are just going back every year and doctors are telling them it's not your body unable to fight the HPV, it's your husband reinfecting you with it. And to say he's cheating and bringing it back, not even like you're just passing it back and forth, like he's going and getting it from somewhere else. They said that to me. Two of them. Blue whales technically count as a sea monster to me. Elijah, that's funny. The e-files have stopped at 10 files, not millions. This exposes how far their limit stretches, right, Gloom? It's like that creepy case, is it Giselle Petticoat? That is so not right. The French woman whose husband got caught taking upskirt photos, and then it came out that he was drugging her and letting men rape. Drugged? Literally, like, upwards of 100 men, and it's like it really makes your mind spin when you're like, "So, how many men came across his posts? How many men knew about this? How many men participated? How many men knew and did nothing?" And, uh, it I hate to say it and be like, this is something that I want to help be a change for. People don't care about children enough. We don't care about children enough in this patriarchal society. Yes, I do believe we live in a patriarchy, and I used to laugh at that shit too. But if this isn't a made up hierarchy where white men in particular, but men are like, at the top, and that's not to say all men's lives are easy. I do not mean that at all in this economy. But I mean the people that are at the top are, the same kind of men, and I know what you guys are thinking. I agree with that too. It's the same kind of men, right? Some white and some. Doesn't the Bible speak about a humongous sea monster called a Leviathan? I don't know. Supposedly, um, that's funny. That moves. A whole elephant fits in its mouth. Oh, wow. Patriot, thanks for. Yeah, I got this on Amazon, and it's like a fabric tapestry. Why did I say that so funny? Tapestry. And I usually turn on my. I forgot to see that blacklight. It was really cool. And it was like $9 when I got it, at least. Their moral limits, Gleam said, right? It's so that's what I like. They're the owning class and the working class, and now it's like the way that they look down on us. It's like I want to draw the same line in the sand and be like, you know what? Like it's not even a thought process. I don't have to think about it. As soon as I find out somebody's like part of the owning class, I automatically look down on them. And I know that that sounds like super that more negative. I'm not going to pedestalize them and make my life's goals to try to be in the same circles as them because I'm so proud of being somebody that actually works and actually contributes to society. And I do feel like we're put here to serve each other and help each other more so than to just take advantage. And that's psychopathic. And we fell for the idea of getting 2015 Trump again. We were so desperate. Now, as soon as it warms up, I'm burning my MAGA hat. Oh, right. Yeah, I feel ya. I wanted him to win all three times too. But he did disappoint me after like selling being a big salesman for pharma disappointed me, but I still wanted him to win this last time. Chris, how are you doing? You're in Kentucky. That's cool. They're, they both are in the files. They've been there for the past 50 years, Red said. I don't know who you mean by both, but I'm sure you're right. Decap, yes. Leviathan. Leviathan. It's a common entity that is exercised often. Exorcist. Oh, Upper Peninsula in Michigan here. That's cool, Big Mike. Are you the one that said you were going skiing? Um, Tell me you're thirsty for attention without saying you're thirsty for attention, Florida Trump. LOL, this guy. I don't know who you're saying that to. We have free range slaves here in the United States. Yes, that's free range slaves. That's a that's a good way of putting it. Hey, Stone Papa Smurf, how are you doing? What's the movie Hamnet? Is that like a scary movie? I've never heard of it before. Hey, Sebastian, how are you? We're definitely not helping the Iranian people. Yes, unfortunately, I don't think so either. There's so many people that really need help in the world, and we only help them when they're sitting on a bunch of oil. So what are we doing in Iran since you say we aren't there to help the people? Well, there's so many things. I think that the no-no country, if you don't know who I'm talking about, is Israel. I think they're pulling the strings and like they wanted Trump to get the Venezuelan oil because China's cut them off because of their genocidal nature. And now they're like trying to do anything they can, to grasp at straws. And I did turn on a video like, why is Iran retaliating and like bombing the stuff in Dubai and stuff? The property that they bombed that wasn't the airport that I was saying it was like a luxury hotel, that was a Trump property. I really don't. I have to laugh at it. I really don't take pleasure in war, but, like, when I saw, and I never thought that, like, 39-year-old Lydia would be like, "Yeah, haha, they bombed my president's property in another country in the world, but, like, here we are." Um, Yeah, there's a definite regime change. There's always been regime changes since what, like the 50s? They've been doing this game where they're like, we're going to help you, Iran. We're going to help you with your regime change and see how that's played out the last several decades. They've only gotten worse off. They used to be pretty liberated people, and now they're like under oppressive regimes because of people like us in UK coming in and saying, we're going to help you out. Um, and I don't know how old you are, Tim, but if you're old and if you're older than I'm sorry, if you're at least 30 years old, how can you think that this isn't going to be another Afghanistan or Iraq? It was exact same shit, the exact thing. The conversation I had with my kid earlier today, my 16-year-old, and he's like, they say it's because of nuclear weapons. And like they've been saying that for decades, honey. They've been saying that the bad people have nuclear weapons. And can you blame them for even wanting to have nuclear weapons? At this point, I can't hold it against any country for wanting to have nuclear weapons when so many of us do already. And I think that's a farce, and that weapons of mass destruction. Remember, that's how they called it last time. Weapons of mass destruction was everywhere. Weapons. We have to find their weapons of mass destruction. What came of that? Removing the Islamic theocracy in Iran is good for the world at large, not to mention the leverage it would apply to Russia and China. You end two wars and prevent a third one. I hope some good comes of it down east. Like I said, they are ruled by extremists, right? And that is very unfortunate. But I just feel like if we were really there to help people, we wouldn't have sat around and waited for so long. First of all, it's like, I don't know for certain, I'm not there, how many people have passed, because I've heard radically different numbers. But people who have been unalived protesting sometimes have good energy. I like to remember how much these cover ups reach, and they know they can't beat the allegations. Like, they know they ain't fooling anybody, right, Moonshiner? And to just have faith that Padre Pio, Gleamer Doom, yeah, he used to have his little picture. It was a guy that he had the stigmata. Is that what it's called when people have like the wounds in their hands? I believe he was alive around the 30s. I could be wrong about that. It might have been more the turn of the century. But he's a really interesting guy, Gloom. I'll do a video on him soon. Um, yeah, it's also good to just have faith that like they will get theirs. You can't be the same feeling like that I feel like of being in service of others and helping others. And like when I do an Instacart order and I see that it's somebody, which most of the time it is an elderly person or a disabled person, like it makes me feel extra good that I could be a part of like really helping people. And I still remember orders that I didn't take that like stay stuck on the screen. And I'm like, I hope that person got their cat food. I'd rather be me and actually be considerate about people and like feel good off of just like being a good person and helping to provide for other people than be so fucking greedy and be like a fucking demon and like a vampire with it, like having a siphon off everybody else. And like I genuinely know that like it is good versus evil, and we in the working class, we're the good ones. And that's like the kind of energy that they don't want us to have, because then we will actually see through the bullshit. I don't follow predictions anymore, but I read a ton of Edgar Casey and Nostradamus in my 20s. Oh, you read? Yes, Edgar Casey is an interesting one, and I've wanted to do videos on him. You know, being like from Kentucky and all. Um, Right. The issue is Iran, you're not freed. You're just under new management. That management being Israel, right? Right. Exactly. It's like the speech Trump gave where he's like, and we're going to take over and we're going to let you take over your government. And no, that's not how it's going to happen. They're not going to just be like, okay, which one of you guys want to come in this building and take over? Like, it's just like, think of the logistics of all of that. And I had friends, peers who guarded the poppy fields in Afghanistan. That's what they were doing. And people tell me that. I've heard it a lot online. And that's I have no idea what's going on when it comes to any of that in Iran necessarily, but that's what I was telling my kid. It's all about the war machine makes money. It makes the rich people money that get the government contracts to make all the weapons. And it controls natural resources. And one of their resources, and one of which being drugs, because they're the biggest drug dealers on the planet. And then they put people like us in jail for half of our life for having like a half a pound of weed. It's just enough to drive anybody mad, but that's what I'm saying, like, so, like, being able to home educate, like, I try to focus on the positives, like, as much as I hate certain things, like, it still is a huge blessing to be able to have like 2 dogs and a cat and to keep my kid at home until I'm comfortable sending him to school. Because in a lot of first world countries, it's illegal to keep your kid at home. You have to put them into the school system, like in Germany. Yes, I am. Thanks for asking. You interested, Elijah said. The Florida airboat, man. What is going on? I missed some stuff. Hi, isn't eating, drinking, and sleeping the most important things for us to live? Husa, yeah, I would say breathe air, water, food, right? Movement and sleeping. Sleeping is a very, very, yeah, it's one of those like huge building blocks of good health that I think is highly underrated. I slept a lot and I kind of feel bad about it. And I should go soon because I don't want to miss tons of sleep. I'm trying to be better about that. I was in bed till 11 this morning. That is crazy for me. I was like, I must have needed it though. Um, I wake up a lot. I don't get tons of REM sleep. I actually take antihistamines before I go to bed. I don't love that cycle I'm in, but it's better that I actually get some sleep. Hopefully things will get better for Iran this way. Only time will tell. Moonshiner, I really sincerely hope so too. It's a kind of thing that maybe this regime change will be the lesser of two evils. I just hate Trump and the no country so bad. It's like all the destruction that they've done and the obvious like this is oh my God, I keep forgetting imperialism. Thank you. I kept forgetting that last night. This isn't helping another country out. This is imperialism. What they're doing is genociding people. They are trying to wipe people off the map, going after a school, they're going to like be all willy nilly going after all the children and women. Who cares? Because they're trying to take out the future generations. Oh, those people. I just think it's horrible, and I'm not saying if women ran the world that women would be better, but I think that it's clearly the end of a cycle, the end of some kind of times, and like the men that rule the world are absolutely evil, and it's a problem. And like nothing's gonna get better for any of us till it like implodes upon itself and just like starts over. I will have a homestead myself soon. Chief, that's so cool. Good for you. Elijah, yes, I am. I already read that comment. We are free range slaves. I read that one. MAGA died on June 21st, Rhett said. Moonshiner, hopefully things will get better. I read that one. What happened June 21st? Elijah asked. Yes, Rhett, I was going to ask that too. ICE is running rampant here a long time. Hot dog vendor was mentally broken. So sad, one word rage. Patriot, yeah, what ICE is doing is horrible. And using our tax dollars, getting $50,000 bonuses to terrorize people. He can't get a third. I hope not, Elijah. I don't think he will. Gloom. Jorge, we are always a slave. It's a fashion that changes. Gloom said, Chief, HPV is definitely reversible. I'm a naturopath. Chief, yes. Okay. I tried a lot, Chief. I even used this medicine that was formulated with a software. It was amazing. It's called Noviron, and it had like selenium green tea extract. I can't remember all it was good stuff. Like I know you can tell just selenium, green tea extract, what else was in it? It was really good immune boosting shit. I did that for 6 months. I still would like to know why I couldn't reverse it because I know I'm still high risk like in my throat and stuff, right? And so I always have high white blood cells like not off the chart, but high in the red zone. Nobody ever cares about it. Doctors don't ever care to figure out why my and that was even before the HPV infection started. I had high white blood cells. I had one naturopath tell me that I have really good genes. I just have a congested lymphatic system. So things, and it was because of that flu shot I got in 2010. Things will always be like very slow moving for me at times, and it's important so I want to get a vibration pad soon. I used to have an exercise trampoline. That up and down motion is one of the best things you can do for your lymphatic fluid, in my opinion, to get your lymphatic. We have more lymph fluid than we do blood in our bodies, and there's no like doctors that specialize in the lymphatic system. There's just like massage therapists and massage techniques for it. I think it's highly under um thought of. But Chief, I know you're right, and I still think about it. And like I need to do everything I can to try to get, and that's one reason I liked off grid, like not having the power meter. Um, you know what I mean? The way the power meters are now. I forget the name. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. not being near so many people's Wi-Fi. Like, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but it makes me feel good when I go to Wi-Fi and there's literally one or two things because I've lived in neighborhoods and been in places where it's just like a dozen different things pop up. And I just, as somebody who couldn't beat an HPV infection, like stuff like that, I try not to let it bother me, but I do take it into consideration. Michael Cox, what are you saying 100 men sad times about? Red flag alert, El Grande. Trump third term, even the fucking supporter said after he won the second term he shouldn't get a third. Yeah, right. Tell me you're thirsty for attention without saying you're thirsty for attention. Florida Trump, this guy. I already read that. Stories like this make me proud to be single. Like who y'all marrying and sleeping with? How is my competition? Moonshine, I said. Oh no, yeah. You should be proud to be single, seriously. It's I think I hate to be so negative, but after at a certain age, it just must get so difficult to find somebody that's like really an upstanding person that it's most often better to be alone, man or woman. Oh, it is not me. That is not a funny joke. You're getting blocked for that. Here on campus, we had some sickos say Trump is their new overlord. That's disgusting. Yeah, patriot. People like that want to drain you of energy. Don't let them get to you. I know it's easier said than done, but that's what they want. They're immature. They have nothing going on with their lives. They're stupid. Recently, I saw a short video. It says illuminating blue light over plants increases their growth. Glimmer doom. That's funny. I had some grow lights that were like supposedly, I think it was like a gimmicky thing. It was like, aren't most bright lights full spectrum? Basically, we had like the rainbow of lights on it and stuff. And I do think that's really interesting. A lot of grow lights, uh, don't they have a red cycle? The parasite class. Yes, Edge of South. That's what we need to start calling them. I'm trying to retrain my brain to not call them elite anymore. I have a girlfriend that's helping me with my faith in Christ, although Christ would frown on the premarital sex drive. I said, yeah, just, be careful. I think like we're all human and of course like it would be best to wait, but at the same time, I don't think God gave us everything he gave us. God, I'm gonna shut up. I do think waiting until marriage would be the absolute best in this world, but if you already haven't, just like try to do everything you can to make that relationship work and don't take years to ask her to marry you. I'm just we need to start like not encouraging waiting so long maybe. Oh, hi Ruby, how are you doing? I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty TSN. That's funny. I don't even get those things anymore. My car has so many miles. I don't think that we get bothered. My car has like 225,000 miles. Hi, Manny. How are you doing in Buffalo? We're definitely helping them. We just gave them freedom, Matthew said. Oh, Matthew, bless your heart. I am not another libtard. No, Matthew, but it's funny that you would call somebody a tard after saying that you really think that we're helping Iran, just like we helped Libya, right? Like we helped Iraq and Afghanistan, right? I know we didn't ever say we were liberating Syria because they never needed anything like that. Syria was doing more than fine, and they were one of the few countries that wasn't participating in the World Bank shit, and that's why we really started to fuck with Syria so bad. Um, anyways, just another libtard. That's so funny. Y'all need people like me in your life. You need a woman that's been a registered independent since the age of 18 that can think for herself and that is like a critical thinker. And just because you don't think exactly like me doesn't mean, either of us are wrong. We are not helping them. We just gave them, yes, Rhett, Bobby, and we gave them Fritos, classic or chili cheese flavor, Elijah said. Yep, they're giving Trump a gift, Fendi said. Um, we're talking about all sorts of stuff, man. I bet they just gonna put another regime. Right, Marcos? It's been the same thing since the 50s. It's like they need a regime change. Some white people are gonna go in there and help them have a better regime. It never works out that way. It never does. Anybody that sincerely thinks like falls for the propaganda, like it's really interesting to me, man. I can't help but think of like 84. Was that the one that they said it would always like things would come on screens and like repetitive words, like it would just say like orgy porgy, and then people would start having an orgy. It's gonna come down to that. It's going to get to the point where they're just gonna start showing like adult media, and then people are gonna like take their clothes off and start A certain breed of people, man. Iran ain't Iraq or Afghanistan, as though this isn't gonna go the way they think, and Zios more of the problem than Islam, and they are fighting the Zios. Yeah, Fendi, and think about these people in Iran, a lot of them that, like, have seen the truth, and, like, this has been a long time coming, this has been planned for decades. Like, we finally got out of there, Biden, and the way he just, like, left all the stuff that he left, and the way he was so messy about it, and people lost their lives over it. And then, like, everybody was relieved, like, no more forever wars, right? And now for anybody to support this, it's just like, it never ceases to amaze me. Um, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm sorry, I just have to call it as you have to be falling for propaganda and half brainwashed. Like, do you wash your brain in the dishwasher or the washing machine? Like, or both. It's like your brain is thoroughly washed. Um, John Brandt, if you don't think I have a clue what I'm talking about, this is just an opinion channel, but you are free to say whatever you want or go talk about your own shit on your own channel. Gloom comes across as an immature and childish greed of doing bad things without repercussions, Gloom said. Oh, if only gloom or doom, but that's all fantasy. Nothing's ever going to happen, Rhett said. Favorite Taco Bell order? Oh, Doctor Studios. They Taco Bell makes these mini taco salads, and I know it's crap. I know it's crap. And I told myself when I ate Taco Bell a few days ago, I was like, this is going to be the last fast food I eat in a while because I have hernias and like it can affect you digestively too. Let's just put it that way. But they make the cutest little mini taco salads. They're like so fucking cute. And it's on the value menu because I told my husband, I was like, just get me something off the value menu, surprise me. And then when he brought that home, I was like, oh my God, because you guys don't know this about me. Taco salad is like one of the things I order. I love chicken flautas, enchiladas, and but taco salad, I often get that. And often it's like a cheaper item when you go to Mexican restaurants. Your role models were homosexuals, John Bryant. Well, maybe some of them. It's easy to see when people have no idea how anything works, Kiefer said. Or you believe that we're going to go help the Iranian people, that Trump isn't a warmonger? You're free to think that. See, I don't go to other people's channels when they're like, rah, rah, Trump. I don't say, like, you are so crazy, because I know there's no use. I'm an adult, and I know as an adult, people aren't going to change my mind by just like making flippant comments at me about my opinions. And I'm not going to do the same for them. So I don't even try. And it is super interesting to me when especially the males of our population are the ones that are like getting freaking catty with it. Tell me what I'm wrong about. What am I wrong about? Have we not been helping them with their regime changes since like the 50s? And I know this last guy was in power for 30 years, but wasn't it the same story 30 years ago? I literally remember my mom coming home from the bar talking about how like people were so glad that they just left because of Ayatollah or something. I just remember the story of my mom like going on and on about these people from Iran, I believe, that she met in a bar because we lived in a university town. So it was like a lot of people. That was the town I went to school for kindergarten and first grade. I literally went to school with people from all over the world, every continent besides Antarctica. I'm not kidding. I went to school with kids from like every Asian country, a lot of countries in Africa, countries that don't even exist anymore in Africa, freaking Australia, of course, Canada and South America. That wasn't so I really love that I got to go to school and live on a campus with people from literally everywhere. Good edibles help me sleep. Oh, that's nice, Mike. Yeah, I might need to try some gummies to sleep, Until 11, I play sleep roulette. I don't sleep until the sun comes up and I don't set an alarm. Yeah, that really sucks. You need good sleep. Iran started the war in Jerusalem, Aaron said. Hi, Jimmy, James said. I saw this fun little Discord mod X Giga Chad meme where both are being punished and suffering for sin, and Jesus tells the Chad they're being punished because he loves them, and a moral life isn't enviable. That's funny, Moonshiner. Gloom, the higher the population, the more data centers are needed. The more complex the population, the bigger the data center. Eventually, you won't be worth the memory. Oh, ooh. Yeah, it's really interesting how these things are popping up, and clearly they don't care if the people in the town don't want them, you know? And that's one thing I do worry about because, like I've said about like Kentucky, I think it's Best to stick near mountains, though. They're not gonna fuck with a lot of that shit, like, in the mountains or near the mountains. It's just so much more hard we get so many boil water advisories here, like, in the foothills of mountains. It's just the nature of the terrain, and, anyways, but, with that comes a lack of jobs and a lack of opportunity, and, like, I was talking to my 16-year-old, and he said there's pros and cons, and, like, I knew that, like, he's not probably doesn't love everything about living out here. I was like, with everything going on in the world right now, I am so glad we're, like, way far away from, like, everything, and I know it's not easy to be a young person and live like that all the time, though. But, yeah, the more technology takes over our lives, I'm kind of, like, just a contrarian at heart, but I'm also, like, technologically illiterate, I will admit. We had access to the internet, my dad being a college professor. It was, like, in the mid-90s, like, 95, 96. We would go to his university and get on his computer in his office and, like, print off pictures well, that's what I was doing. I was making collages of Leonardo DiCaprio, and my sister literally learned to code. Like, as soon as she got access to the internet, she learned to code. I don't think I have to tell you guys what field she's in, I'm not gonna say it. But it's like, you're either like that or you're not, and then my brother's a super talented in his field, didn't have to go to college. He's in a trade. We always knew he was gonna do something like that. He's the type of kid that could like wanted to take everything apart and put it back together and wanted to like try to fix stuff and stuff. So like people have their natural talents and it's so interesting to me. And I think that's our job as parents, first and foremost. Or okay, to keep your child healthy, of course, and safe. But like to help them figure out what their natural God-given talents are and it's such a blessing to, like, have that, if that's what you want. Indiana, Pennsylvania, where are you from, honey? Tim. Are you asking me, Tim? I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Louisville, but I lived a lot in Indiana as a kid. Um, because a joke doesn't define who you are, John Deere said. John Deere. Jorge Aaron, I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but I promise change is coming and God will have something to do with it. I hope so, Jorge. Michael, God gives all people a choice of good or evil. I choose good common sense. Yes, Michael. Gabrielle, you need more vibrato. Vibrato, not vibrato. I was today years old when I learned how much lymphatic fluid. Yeah, I don't really give you a good number, but it is seriously more than blood. And isn't that amazing to think about? And I had my inguinal, I have three hernias, two are inguinal on the left and right side of my groin. And for a long time, because one doctor said they thought it was a swollen lymph node. And then I'd bring it up at my annual, whatever nurse practitioner I had at my annual like female stuff appointment. I'd be like, what is this bump and why is it not going away? And sometimes it's like sticking out for, and sometimes it doesn't. And finally, like I don't know how many, fifth or sixth doctor was like, "That's a hernia." Hi, Oscar, how are you? Even my girlfriend is a hardcore Republican and she is tired of this shit, right? Right? I always said I lean towards the right and I stopped saying that a few months ago. I'm like, I really can't say that anymore. It's just all the same. It's all the same. And I do understand the evolution of things. Like we couldn't all live like Indians forever, unfortunately, but I do think that that is like the way people are supposed to be. And so when people like make it seem like people who are tribal, like they're like still savages and they're less intelligent, they have a lower IQ in countries that haven't been as well developed. It's really interesting to me because it's like, but look at the countries that are super well developed and what is coming of that. We have to like colonize Mars soon because we are so polluted here. You're talking about the power companies remote shut off edge of south. No, the smart meters, that's what they're called, smart meters, and I know that I could probably try to opt out. I haven't tried to, honestly. Um, it was just like the last county we lived in was like you could not opt in these rural counties, they don't let you pay the fee. In Indiana, we could pay like $15 a month. Dating is difficult, John said. Yeah, my heart goes out to anybody who's dating. J memes. Hey, J memes. How are you? You never did wish for cancer. You should never wish for cancer. My grandfather died due to cancer and was suffering terribly. He was pale and it was terrible. He could hardly breathe, but he would tried his best. I'm glad you changed. Oh, J memes. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm really, really sorry you had to witness that. And that's what I said. I know it was horrible. That's what I was saying. How fucked up is it to wish for something like that when most people it would be the opposite? But I hope you understand where I was coming from, that it was like they wouldn't give me the surgery to remove the cancerous organ and anybody that was like a famous person, you'd be put on a magazine like Christina Applegate. People who are proactive at getting like Angelina Jolie got her ovaries removed because her mom died from ovarian cancer. And I would say that to doctors. I'm like, if I was Angelina Jolie, would you like take my cervix out? Like, um, but yeah, that's how horrible it was. And that's why I feel like the medical industry. I have a friend right now going through a lot of complex medical issues, and their insurance company is giving them the runaround. It's so evil. This person had a major surgery. This person obviously needs the care. They aren't faking this. They have real issues that need real care. And it's absolutely evil. It's evil. There's something they're getting out of us, like more than money. Like the way that they like are like, putting people in their place, making people feel hopeless and helpless is like the worst thing you could do to a person. We're here to thrive and grow and like work and, you know, that's the opposite of that. Going from live to live, spreading positivity and sharing heartfelt comments. Just want to say that you have kind eyes and a great smile. Have a great night and know you have value. That's so nice, Dirk Hickson. And people like Durr really make me feel good about the world. John Deere, thoughts on eugenics? Oh, I think it's horrible. I think that diversity is what we need the most. And so with that does come like, you still like some people are talking about white people dying off. I don't think that's going to happen personally. Are there going to be less white people eventually? Yes. Is everybody going to end up being the same shade of brown? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not God. I have a feeling everything is going to like reset before that. The whole point is diversity is key, just like in any ecosystem of anything. The more diversity you have, the better. The more diversity you have genetics, the better. And to say that one race is superior is absolutely asinine, especially when most people that say the superior race is the one that is ruining the planet. Humans have red light therapy, Gloom said. Wars are senseless. Yes, Aaron. There's no reason to have a war with all of our technology and ability to communicate. There's none. Besides people, rich people playing God. Thank you, President Trump from the Persian diaspora. Well, that's nice, Sonic. Good luck to you. Lucky you are very smart and beautiful, one that has integrity. That's the man you marry will have an amazing partner for life. Jorge, I am married, and I hope he thinks that. Thanks, Jorge. You need to put your phone down and watch a sunset. Oh, Dodge, definitely. Actually, I need to get some sleep soon because I want to catch the lunar eclipse Tuesday morning. Did you guys about that? It's gonna be like a full red blood moon, last lunar eclipse for about 3 years. I don't tend to get up for stuff like that, but I gotta start getting used to getting up a little bit earlier. I usually do get up pretty early, but anyways, um, I really do appreciate all of you guys, and I feel bad when I don't have a script and, like, some fun stuff to talk about when I hop on here, but sometimes I really just wanna interact with you, and I appreciate you all. Hi, Zayden. How are you? He was the only one truly greedy, Fred said. AJ said, I do both. I don't know what you're talking about, AJ. Slow down. I'm sorry, I talk fast, Dodge. We really just elected Bush 3.0, right, Rhett? It's the same. Talk about a regime change. We need a regime change. We need somebody who's actually not an installed puppet for once. About a month ago, Iran was asking us for help. They renamed a street after Donald Trump, asking for his help with the violence going on towards the protesters. And boy, did we help, Red Arrow said. Yeah, Red Arrow. That was funny how I read that. Red Arrow. Yeah, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I will admit if I'm wrong about this, but who was wearing bombs 2G? Why not Antarctica? Ceci said. Well, I'm guessing nobody is from Antarctica. Yes, we help for the short term. The long term, however, you're fucked, Rhett said. Right. Edge of South. I wish Taco Bell would keep the fajita quesarito on the menu. And that I love those nacho fries. They have had those pretty consistently the last few. It's just like they took them away for a little bit. Dante's. I don't have a uterus. And even when I did, I didn't use tampons. Oh my God. Yeah, I have PCOS. When you have like ovarian cysts or like issues down there, often tampons are a no-go. Thank you, Nate. You got a fishing bowl. Stop. I don't know what that means. Michael Cox, Africa at any time in history has 30 to 50 civil wars going on, never ending. Right, Michael? Yes. I was thinking a lot about Africa when I said, there's always horrible things going on and people that need our help that we don't help. And we can't help everybody. I'm not trying to insinuate that I think that we can. that we should when our own people are so I saw this. Did you guys see that person that called into C-SPAN? Who was upset talking about how they're disabled and blind and they can barely afford to eat and how horrible things are under Trump compared to Biden for them being on disability with food stamps and the lady that took the call, I was thinking she was a snooty bitch. I don't know. There's something about the woman. I was like, you could tell she was just like, "Ugh, dirty people, in my opinion. She's one of those people that's just like, "Oh my god, it's your fault. If you don't have enough money, it's your fault." That kinda attitude. Why don't you just work harder? And it's like, I'm so excited to get this job that's actually, like, decent hourly, that if we weren't homeowners, still would need more money than that. You know what I wouldn't be able to afford to rent with this, and it's one of the highest paying entry level job in this town, you know? But, I don't understand how people can just look down on people that are poor. And like, we were in a neighborhood today. It was like this beautiful, beautiful house around like a bunch of dumpy trailers. I know I sound judgmental, but it's just true. Anybody that looked at this would be like, "Wow, this place is a dump." And I was just like, um, it's interesting to me when I see a house like that. I respect those kind of people, those kind of upper class people so much, upper middle class people, because it's like they don't look down on poor people. Obviously, they wouldn't live in that house. They wouldn't have bought that house in the middle of this poor neighborhood if they looked down on people with less money than them. And they're playing it smart because they know they can have this nice ass house and way lower property taxes than if they were in a neighborhood with all the other snooty little people. "Oh, don't build an apartment near us. No single wide trailers near us." Indiana is I'm sorry to any Hoosiers, but Indiana is so much more snooty compared to here. I want to make a video out of it, but I feel guilty filming people's homes. There's so many shed conversions. Like everywhere you look, there's a shed conversion. There's somebody, and a lot of these houses were built obviously with like a mother-in-law suite thing. They're like so much like mid-century ranches. There's so many that have like a separate additional dwelling unit. You can tell it's like another little tiny house. Could you imagine if most every house had its own little separate dwelling? And it's possible, it's more possible, it's kind of possible for a lot of people. But in Indiana, in certain places, there's like all these stipulations where like it has to be X amount of square foot or whatever. You know what I mean? X square feet, I should say. War just makes the rich richer. Yes, Rhett. Google the chemicals in your water. Oh, Aaron, yes, I know all about that. We use Alexa Pure, which is like a Berkey. It's supposedly one of the best filters you can use for your water that actually gets out fluoride or most, like 99.9, and pharmaceuticals, because even when you buy like filtered water from the store, it might not be. Some filtered water is reverse osmosis, which we had that for years too. I'm not going to get into that. Did the chemicals in the water make me gay? Rhett said. Rhett. You were talking about having a girlfriend. I do have a video talking about how fish in the Potomac River are growing eggs, male fish, and in my opinion, I think it's from us, like people on birth control, and once again, they don't filter that out. I hate saying this because I don't want to freak anybody out, but if you have imbalanced hormones, you have hormone issues. That's how I discovered a lot of this stuff with my PCOS, and I started looking more into stuff, and it's like there's so much endocrine disrupting hormones, hormone disrupting chemicals. AI takes the power grid and city water. Eventually, people have a value, which may value less than the energy needed to remember the recycle bin trash junk file. Oh my gosh, gloom. That's why we need to be on our own little homesteads. I'm interested in making a purchase of some of your fluids. Oh my gosh, that is so weird. I display them in my foyer on a handmade walnut shelf. Okay, I'm not going to block you because that is slightly funny. What are the three rings of marriage? I don't know. Girth. I don't know why that's so funny. Um, what the actual fuck? Super need name, rat. And then super need name said, "What did I say?" Now I have to see. What did they say? I'm interested in making. Oh, they're the ones that said that comment. I see how oblivious I can be. I didn't read their name. That's funny. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm speaking God's truth, Aaron said. Oh, I didn't think you were being sarcastic if you're talking to me, Aaron. Okay, there's my low battery. It should be for we the people, not the governments. Yeah, ideally. So, yeah, I know I say the same things all the time, but like we're best in smaller communities. It's just unnatural to like be dealing with like all the news from all over the world and stuff for everybody. And it's like they want us in this state of mass psychosis, I feel like, the constant "Ugh," but yeah, it's important to try to concentrate. And when I say that people are best off with like smaller communities, 150 to 200 people, I hope you guys know that I consider a lot of you part in my community. Like you don't have to literally only consider the 150 people within a, 10-mile radius of your home or whatever like that. But it is important to just really focus the most on what we can change. And that's what I want to do with my garden. And gosh, honestly, I kind of hesitate to order soil now. I need to talk to my neighbors. It'd be like, we are going to get the septic fixed. We are. You see me like hauling some soil in here. Like, please don't think septic costs thousands of dollars. The soil is like less than 100, you know? I'm not going to fall for that super need. Hey, boxing, how are you? Can we just send the billionaires to Venus? I wish, Rhett. It should be for we the people. I already read that. Engagement ring, wedding ring, suffering. Oh, that's a good one, Girth. The ones to volunteer to go to Mars will be told you will not come back. True. Yeah, Michael. The people, at least the people that initially go to start, like set everything up, there's no way we're going to have like the technology to necessarily bring them back, right? Or like the time, whatever. Mung, that's why it's more important than ever to be aware of what you eat. Yes, Mung. Yes. Hi, Stephen. How are you? I've been trying to clean up my act a little bit because I just looked at it like I'm gonna leave it up to God. Like we're like most people. I joke around about being poor, but like yeah, we live paycheck to paycheck like most Americans, right? So it's like I feel bad. Like I bought pistachios and like they're $11 a bag, but that bag of pistachios lasts me weeks and I eat it every day. It's like such good protein to reach for those and things like that, like, I really like cantaloupe and pineapple because it's, like, the big fruit you actually have to cut up, they're, like, still reasonably like, I feel like I'm not getting ripped off when I pay $2.50 for a pineapple, you know? Um, Even though, of course, I wish everything was cheaper, but I'm trying to, like, eat more whole foods because 'cause I've been through periods in my life, and when we had our last baby, I got pregnant in 1 month. I was so surprised I got pregnant so fast because the 2nd baby, I went to a fertility doctor, it was taking so long, and I was in my early 20s. But I knew I had PCOS, so that's why I was like, "We can't get pregnant on purpose," and we got pregnant once on accident, what's going on? Anyways, I do think one of the reasons I got pregnant so fast, it was the progesterone cream, and, I was eating, like, immaculately. Like, I remember when I got pregnant with him, I was eating nothing but whole foods. Like, I was not eating anything from a box. The most processed thing I ate was a tortilla. "No one is coming back from Mars," Gleam said. Nancy Wheeler doing good for herself 10 years after the finale. I don't know what you're talking about, Cryo. If we are what we eat, I need to stop eating fruit, Rhett said. Oh, Rhett. Elon is like, who wants to be the first skeleton on Mars? Oh, I love that you love them, Dwiley. Thank you so much. That seriously means the world to me. You guys don't understand. Make my dreams come true. To be able to like have a growing YouTube channel. Like I know it's not the most successful, but it's growing, and that's like a huge deal for me. Cats and food. It will not happen. This world will have all skin colors. Yeah, that's what I just like the remoteness of certain regions and how some are so homogenous, you know? Um, and it's really interesting to me. I was watching this guy who lives in China and has a wife and Chinese kids with her, and he was complaining about the way some Chinese people act over his kids and literally treat them like he didn't say this, but basically like a circus sideshow freak or something, you know? And so it's like people and he was being polite, okay? And there was somebody that was it was interesting, a Chinese person raised in Britain telling him like I visit China, I know how they can be, like you have to try to understand like they're so homogenous. Like and I really was like sitting there trying to put myself in the shoes of somebody that grew up in a country where like literally everybody looked like me, like, everybody had my same skin tone and eye color and hair color, and, like, just variances on, the features on your face, basically, and a lot of people are basically the same stature and weight, like, more so. That's wild to me. It's really crazy to really think about, and I think it's cool, but I honestly do feel blessed to not have been raised in a homogenous country. I think it's special. I think homogenous people are special too, but I think that what we have going on here is awesome. And to be so taken aback by a black person, because you never see black people, like I couldn't imagine that. And you really, of course, it's no reason to be rude, but you can't blame them to a certain point. This world would be left with robots, Mung said. Mung, I think that it's a cycle that's happened before and will happen again. And men, and I say that meaning men and women, not just like male men. Men ruin the planet and the planet renews itself. And like stuff will happen so that like I'm not saying the human race will disappear, but we will be put in our place. Hi Mark, how are you doing? Robots with robot religions, Gleam said. Don't like war either, but just saying, the John Logan said. What are you just saying? I didn't see your other comment. If they chant death to America and want to nuke, how are we supposed to just change their minds by chatting? Yeah, John. So I understand where you're coming from, but I also understand why somebody would chant death to America. And I know that sounds crazy to some Americans, but when you really take into consideration all the things that we have done to other people and from their perspective, why they say that, it is horrible. I've seen clips of little children saying, "Death to no-no people," little Muslim children, and then little no-no people children saying, "Death to Muslim children." And it is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, like little grade school boys chanting stuff like that. And it's evil. It's evil to teach anybody to hate people so much, but at the same time, after almost 4 decades on this planet, I can't blame anybody for saying death to America. That doesn't mean that I want it to happen. Well, you're always been so appreciative. Oh, Michael, thank you. You too. What is being held for review, Patriot? I don't have any words on my end, like filtered. King Jesus Christ loves you. That's so nice, T. Sean. Thank you. How are we going to get up if that's how we get down? Glimmer Doom said. I like that. That's a bar. Oh, thank you, AW. Here's a few bucks. Please shut up and be better. Thank you for the few bucks, AW. That's so funny how people give you super chats and tell you to shut up. She's not grieving, she's manipulating. Are we talking about Erica Kirk? I knew who you're talking about. Hi, Angel. How are you doing? I don't know why you're getting hate. Oh, no matter what you say, Alphax, no matter what. I could be on here saying I love everybody, and there's still going to be somebody that's like, you're a fucking psycho. Why would you say that? um, Rat trolls, ignore them, F Alpha. Sonic, you should write a book on how to be right. Oh, no. I don't think I'm right all the time, Sonic, and I really hope you don't think that, or nobody thinks that. Because I've admitted I'm wrong in real time on my channel, and that's why I like dissenting opinions. I like it when people teach me something I don't know because I'm not full of ego. I don't think that I'm always right and I have to be right. I don't. I like being taught something. I like having somebody share something with me that gives me a different perspective. Even if it doesn't make me change my mind, it makes me understand, like what I just said, why somebody might shout death to America. That sounds horrible. Yeah, that is awful. And your knee jerk reaction would be like, how horrible. I don't want that to happen for the most part. But then you really think about it a little bit more. And it's like, well, I feel like shouting death to America at this point. I'm sorry. Nothing's affordable. Life is only getting better for the owning class, and our future generations are going to suffer so much. The way healthcare is, the way that our food is. Sometimes I feel like it would be best if it all toppled down and all the pedophiles in power, got what's coming to them. Avicii style, Better Days style. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a music video. Look it up. War veterans of World War II loved if they could get a trailer or apartment with kids. Discriminated, Michael Cox said. War veterans of World War II loved if they could get a trailer. I don't know what you mean by that, Michael. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm lost with that. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? Moonshiner. Keep an eye out. Things are fixing to change for the better of the world. I hope so, Aaron. I think it's kind of the thing that's like we're at a rock bottom. If we're not there, we're going there fast. Okay, well, I missed most of this live trying my best to get banned from Titsy channel. But we'll be well, and hopefully we can agree on freedom related issues. LOL. Hey, Rebecca, that's funny. Well, I hope that you have a good night, Rebecca. I'm gonna go leave it to God because if we left it to ourselves, solve it to ourselves to solve it, we're getting thrown in max security prison, right, Rhett? Yes. Yes. That's why it was a joke making that Avicii joke, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, I fantasize about it, but I'm not gonna be the one to do it. I don't want my sons to sacrifice their lives, for a bloody revolution either. That's what I'm saying with our technology and our ability to communicate like this through screens and everything. There's no reason for like the hand-to-hand combat. Somebody I used to know said they, and I don't necessarily believe this, but I think anything's possible. What if they don't have these crazy? I know they have real destructive bombs. I've seen the footage. I just saw a picture of one exploding in the sea. It was so it sunk a cargo ship. They definitely have strong bombs. Okay, I'm not saying that they don't. But what if they're over exaggerating exactly how strong a lot of them are or like who has them? And that is just like a checkmate, like keeping people in their places. I don't believe anything until I see it, you know? Horse stable's not good stuff for soil. Just be careful how you handle it because I'm pretty sure that's how I got a bad E. coli infection. Edge of the South, yeah, horse poo has a lot of bad stuff in it, like tetanus and a lot of, and that's one reason why there used to be a lot more stuff when people had more horses. And just, I know that was human waste also spreading communicable diseases. What about avocados? I love avocados, Benny. I just got avocados on clearance at Kroger's. I was so fucking happy. I got like 8 avocados for $3, and that made my day. I look a Kamala supporter. Well, that's funny, gripping and farting because I'm not. Cool PFP, Edge of the South, by the way. I miss my pity every day. Oh, I'm so sorry, Moonshiner. I hate that. I miss my big girl and my little cat, my girly cats. Mm, oh my God, I just almost said their names together. Ming was my cat and Mila was my dog. Happy Holly, Katri said. Well, what is it? What holiday is it? Is that what you're saying? But what if she did support Kamala? What are you going to do about it, Cosmic Sin? And it's just, I know I sound like such a bitch, but it's midnight. I'm just gonna like say what's on my mind. When people come in like say stuff like that, I just can't help but be like, it's just so like tribalistic in like a simple-minded kind of way, walking around saying, "You look like this, you look like that." Like that's what they want. This is the product that they want. They want people to not be able to get together and be like, nothing is affordable right now. What are we going to do about it? Let's boycott. Let's not get gas for these 2 weeks of this month and like spread the word. And so they'll be like, "You look like you like somebody I don't like." And it's like that same kind of attitude. People mistakenly think that everybody in Kentucky is like that backwards hillbilly that doesn't want anything to do with anybody you don't know. It's my sister's birthday. She's turning 19. She's been talking about you a lot. I'm sure she's in chat. Can you give her a birthday shout out? Her name is Isla. That doesn't sound like, oh, okay. I get it. I was like, I don't get what that's supposed to be. I love, I'm not saying that. That was one I haven't heard before, though. You're not that successful on YouTube, but you're a small voice, a small real voice. I said, yeah, that's what I was saying. I would like to get my edited videos more views, and I need to make more edited videos to get in the algorithm. Hi, not this again. How are you doing? But the fact that it's growing is a success to me, and being able to make just even a few $100s a month, like doing what I do is such a blessing. So you supported Trump until he did all this shit. How about we stop putting people in political boxes and call ourselves? Yes, Red. Thank you. Live, yeah, everybody technically lives in their own little bubbles to a certain extent, Chuck. But I think that I think I have a pretty open mind. D'Lo, and I said men as in men and women. If you're talking about when I said it's men, women are definitely participating in the end of the world too. Um, the worst kind of woman that wants to be in proximity to power and go along to get along. And it's sick. It's a special kind of evil, honestly. I would almost venture to say it's more evil than the evil men. I don't know. I just feel that way as a woman. That's not to say that women are better. We should be better, but yeah, that is kind of how I feel. It's more evil when a woman does this evil shit because we're the mothers, and even if you're not a mother yourself, you should be wired differently because you are the being that is able to be a mother. That doesn't mean every woman should be or has to be. Thank you, Daniel, for saying I'm intelligent. There is too much evil here as it is. Yes, Aaron, that's what needs to be cleaned up. Shut up, bot. Last month, your country was Venezuela. Dennis said, yeah, you can't love everybody, be camp, but you can have love for everybody, if that makes sense. And like when I was talking about it earlier, sometimes I say I love you like telepathically to people, and I have had the thought, what if I'm saying that to like a PDF file? What if I picked the wrong person? Like, um, I, I like to say I have better instincts than that. Hi Shay, how are you? I've been watching you off and on for months. Most of your opinions come from emotions, Crisp said. Okay, Chris, you can think that all you want. Yeah, I'd love to hear of an actual example that you have of this. And a lot of my opinions, so many of my opinions are about like food, what you put in and around your body matters, the environment, pollution, seeds. I don't see how any of this is emotionally based. See how women are treated? And like, um, I actually am pretty proud of myself that I've cried like once or twice. I talk about some hard shit and like, I don't like getting emotional and crying in front of people. I don't want to bring anybody else down. Um, Thank you. I got it on Amazon. I don't have any Funko Pops. I feel nothing when they shout that. I just nod my head in agreement, Fendi's. Right. Because I know you're talking about Death to America, right? But because MJ even said they don't really care about us. Yes, Rhett. I have a shorts with that song in it. I have mixed feelings about him. I just think he was like a tortured soul. Chuck Todd Meet the Press. I want to look up that channel. She's insufferable and brainwash. I'm out. That's not even a complete sentence, but Lydia, write a book, How Kindness Puts Evil in Its Knees. I should, Michael. I've been a channel I follow is always talking about self-publishing, and like I've been thinking about that. Like one semi-successful book for somebody that's used to living off a few $1,000s a month, you know? It would be nice to have royalties coming. Like that's what we should all have as many income revenues, streams of yeah, you know what I'm saying. The hardest achievement to achieve in life I have found is to love thy enemy. Yes, gloom. God exposing the corruptness as we speak, Aaron said. Crisp, who is paying you? Google, AdSense. Oh, that's what you mean. You're brainwashed to believe she is brainwashed. She's a normal American who's just exhausted and wants a conversation as much as Charlie would, Rhett said. I can tell you have a spot in your heart for Charlie. That was something that really was like a turning point. I know that's I'm not using that pun sarcastically. It really was like a turning point. See, I won't ever forget hearing Charlie Kirk was shot, and then like an hour later hearing that he died. And I'm like, this is a result of all this. That is a result of being so extreme that you would sit on a YouTube live for I don't know how long. I don't know how long these people are listening to me for any amount of time and just be like, she's insufferable, she's brainwashed. It's like not everybody's cup of tea. You just leave, you know? Hi, like heavy metal music? Metal dude, not really. I mean, I like Metallica, but I know that's not like heavy metal. I'm like a soft heavy metal. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate heavy metal, but it's just not kind of thing. It's like I don't know. I just don't ever want to listen to it. Besides Metallica, is it stupid crap to have a life outside of politics? Chris Rett said. People think the whole South is like that, right, Star Killer? Yeah, they do. And I know there are some parts in rural Kentucky, especially in the East, that are very racist, very much like, but there's still good people in those towns. This chick is complaining about everything when I guarantee you she is upper middle class. I'm sitting in my double wide, Chris, but most people wouldn't consider. And there's some great, beautiful double wides. Don't get me wrong. There are such huge, beautiful double wides I see sometimes with like beautiful windows and stuff. There are definitely probably upper middle class people living in double wides, but not me. Look, I have like this sponge paint from like the mid 2000s. It's like a wallpaper. But anyways, I like Slipknot, Metal Dude said, "My sons like Slipknot." Chris, are you just miserable because this is not how you get a wife? Right. Gloom, just be real and remain as positive as you can. What you can do matter. What you do matters when you say what you say affects others, like the water stuff. We cannot behave the same and expect a different outcome. Make the snowflake. Yes, Gloom. And it is I always, even when people are really mean to me, I always feel bad for being mean to people. You know, like the next day, I'm always like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. So that's one reason I try really hard, or I don't even have to try that hard, but you know what I mean? That's one reason why I just let people do what they're going to do. Chris, you have better things to do than complain about her. Okay, guys. I don't know what they're really good people in these towns that they never speak up and speak out against it. Fendi, yeah, no, that's why I myself couldn't live in a town where there was like I can't tell you the last time I saw a Confederate flag around. Like there really aren't a lot of people like that around here, you know? Um, I couldn't live in a place, even if I could own a mountain living there, you know, because that's how cheap land is. They they probably I've had people give me shit because, like, you know, you can tell my hair has some texture to it. I've had people look at me, ask me what I am and stuff, and I'm like, "White." just having dark hair. And it's funny, there's plenty of people that are brunettes, but anyways, uh, I am doing okay. I'm having a fire outside and listening. Oh, that's so cool. Not this. Enjoy your fire. I'm not simping, Chris, but you really do have better things to do, Brett said. Patriot, did you get up skirted? I caught the tail end of your convo a while ago. No, Patriot, I was talking about this man who did that and he got caught. And during the process of cops going through his phone, this was in France, they found and discovered that he had been drugging his own wife. This man in his 60s or 70s, for years, drugging his own wife and letting men come over and rape her unconscious body to the tune of upwards of 100 men. They identified 70 some. She decided to make the trial public. She didn't have to do that, but she did that so everybody would hear it because the way the laws are in France, if she would have said, keep this all under wraps, none of this would be public information. But she made sure that all those men's names were public. And that poor woman thought she would might have been coming down with dementia because she had memory problems. It was from her husband drugging her. And like I know there are good men out there, okay? So like but like you hear these like horror stories, you have to understand this is why like some women like they've had experiences like this and you can't hold it against them for being incredibly rude and mean for no good reason. But you have to understand why they are the way that they are when some people go through stuff like that. Okay. Good night, Rhett. It was fun talking to you, Rhett. I felt bad when I didn't say goodnight to you, Glam, last night. Right after I got off, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't say goodnight to Glam, and they were in there the whole time. Okay. I do have members only Monday tomorrow. Like I said, there's been like one time I had to reschedule that, but like I've had this nagging headache. Hopefully it'll, you know, by this time of night, it's not as bad, but this flu, it's funny, it's like affecting each of us different. One of my sons had a really sore throat. One of my sons threw up, but the other son didn't throw up. My husband's sick in a different way than I am. I'm glad you came back, Rhett. Oh, organic. I would love to crawl into a cave and disappear. I love that. That's one of my dreams. I want to buy a property that has caves on it that I can crawl in and disappear. Absolutely. No, Stone Papa, what is it? Stone Papa, what is it? I saw like a few weeks ago that they were saying that they thought that they might have like it sounds like this is something newer. Hey, gonna write you and send a recipe for flu. Okay, Fendi. Yeah, I've been taking like zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, lots of B, just multivitamins, but like extra zinc and vitamins A, C, D. And it's funny, I'm like the least sick, which is funny, knock on wood. Go mining for diamonds in that cave. Okay, Stone Papa, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I guess I can just go look it up. I can go look up Madeline McCann and put like last day, like filter it to today or to this week. But yeah, I think that her parents, even if they weren't the ones that did it, they are still implicated. She was in the files. Oh, Stone Papa, I didn't see that. Okay, so Really Graceful. If you don't know who she is, if you like my channel at all, you'll like Really Graceful. She's had a great channel for like 10 years now on YouTube. And she made a video a while ago on Madeline McCann. You know that thing in her eye, the way that her iris had a fleck that was like different? That's like genetically very rare. And I can't remember the details. I just remember Really Graceful like said something that was like, oh, okay, so is this the reason why maybe somebody zeroed in on her possibly? And if you guys didn't know, her mom wrote a book and said sick things about her genitals. I'm sorry, I don't know why somebody. I can understand, I can slightly understand the thought, but she's like, I was wondering if they were do ripped like something about her perfect genitals. That to me screamed, no, that's not right, that's not normal. Parents don't verbalize these things. I know she was a doctor or whatever, but I think that it's possible that like she was giving her drugs to make her sleep and it was too much, or worse than that. I don't even want to get into it. It's kind of the same situation we were just talking about with the man from France, where he's letting other people. That's what I'm saying. That's like so I don't mean to be dismissive of men, but like I don't think there's anything more evil on this planet than a woman that literally sells her little baby girl that she should be protecting, or son too, Trust me, I know it happens a lot to boys. I remember when I went down to Kentucky and a woman asked me if I could rap since I was from New York. Oh, Alex, you made me laugh so hard I hurt my hernia. That was really funny. That is so funny to me. Lots of people ask me what I am. This has happened to me several times in my life, not recently. Like when I was younger, what are you? Like, and I'd say my grandma's Colombian or my dad's Colombian, and they'd say, "Can you speak Mexican?" Like 8 out of 10 times. "Can you speak Mexican?" Really graceful as a neutral journalist, YouTube mainly with a really sweet voice. Yes, Gleam. I love her. I love her so much. She's one of those people that I secretly worship a little. I'm kidding. If I was gonna worship any human, it would be really graceful. Much love and respect. Thanks again for food for thought. I hope you and everyone has a wonderful night. You too, not this. Thank you so much. Same to you, not this again. Okay. Good night, Rhett. Good night, not this. It's like the end of that show. Good night, Gloom. Good night, Stoned Papa. Good night, Fendi. Good night, everybody. Love you so much. And it is a good I don't have a favorite island boy. I don't even know their names. Those kids with the tattoos all over their faces. I'll tell you who my favorite island boy is, and I wonder if anybody's gonna get this joke. My favorite island boy is Roma Army. I'm sorry, I gotta go. That was slightly mean, but whoever's gonna get it will get it. Good night, Glimmer Doom.